welcome to Uptonsteel Great Road this afternoon. Following the clash, we have our men's game between your Leicestershire Foxes and Nottinghamshire Outlaws. Welcome to members, fans and visiting fans. The toss is at 2 o'clock today, with play due to commence at 2:30. If you'd like to get involved with what's happening in and around the ground, whether that's kids face painting going on, you're enjoying a nice drink in the sunshine, please feel free to contact the club, share your tweets and Instagram pictures, tagging us with the hashtag Foxes. Please follow the club at LEICSCCC, that's less CCC. Make sure you send your tweets and Instagram pictures tagging the club. The toss is due at 2 o'clock with play due to start at 2:30 between your Leicestershire Foxes and Notts Outlaws. some food this afternoon at Uptonsteel Great Britain. The pies will be served out of the Fox's Bar. And one of the jeans are warm weather, please make sure you stay safe in the sun. The water fountain is located at the back of the meet and on the side of the indoor school, as well as just the water on bars around the ground to keep you hydrated. We're also going to be opening indoor school nets for a cool space with shade, should you wish to make use of it. And there's vitality clappers that make great fans as well on every game if you fancy using one of those. Sun cream available at the club shop if you need some sun cream. And around the ground, there's a variety of food vendors today. Boots, coffee, cake and churros, and an ice cream van behind the back of the stand. We'll see how the small queue of runners go, so if ice cream or something that you're after, head over behind the back of that stand and you have the option of grabbing something there. First up, my sponsors today, the official match sponsor is Country Lions. The associate match sponsor today, our thanks go to Thatchers. Our friends at Vermont University are the official match ball sponsors today. This Vitality Blacks clash between your Leicestershire boxes and not Outlaws. We have some face painted back in the market, behind the Dapper stand actually. We've also got Michelle and her daughter Carol Page in the marquee on her game 2. Good afternoon to you. They've got their stall, bit of fun covering sheet. You go over and say hello to the guys on her game 2. We've got our interactive quiz at 2 o'clock. Make sure you scan the QR code. That will pop up on the big screen. You need to scan that to register. Scan the QR code on the big screen to get involved in the interactive quiz at 2 today. Quick turn activities are going on in and around the next area as well if you want to head around there to have a look around. And maybe School of Dance cheerleaders are going to perform at the change of innings. A happy birthday to Mervyn today. Your family send their love and best wishes. And hope you have a wonderful day from Terry and Graham. Happy birthday, Mervyn. The street time to secure your T20 tickets to the remaining fixture on Wednesday the 8th of July. Head over to the ticket office to get yours. They're available via TikTok app or you go see Olivia and the team in the ticket office. 8th of July, they can get your tickets to get down here and support your boxes. This summer we've got several events here at Uptonsteel Grace Road. The first is an outdoor cinema with two unforgettable rides. Enjoy in campsite with this thing on and so the Bollywood screening of Samaria. It's a bonus viewing of Bobby in honour of Bobby's restaurant celebrating 50 years. On the 5th of September, we're hosting the Proms on the Pitch, an event for the whole family featuring live music from the Leicester Symphony Orchestra. Tickets can be purchased online or through the QR code you receive throughout the day on the big screen. QR code on the big screen. You'll take part in the interactive quiz. You'll see there's a QR code on the big screen now. Here at Uptonsteel Grace Road. Make sure you're scanning that QR code now. That will enter you into the interactive quiz. Prizes are available. Make sure you scan that QR code. You'll see it on the big screen now. You're going to take part in our interactive quiz at 2 o'clock. Make sure you register by scanning the QR code on your phone. Zoom in on your camera. When it comes up, and the TV comes to enter our interactive quiz. The winning prize for the quiz is a £50 voucher for the club shop today. So if you want to enter, if you win the quiz today, you will receive a £50 voucher for the club shop. Head over to the club shop to grab our 2026 match shirts. Packing out the stands here at Uptonsteel Grace Road in a sea of green for the remaining fixtures. There's also something available at the shop if you need to get some supplies, so head over there.
mate, all good. Right, here's a coach to be annoyed at that defeat. And score. About 4 over, 19 over. And then decided to get out of the ball. 17 over. That's out.
Hello, hello, hello. Sorry, I don't know why I moved that, Dave. Sorry. I've sent back Ben Green. Yeah, mate, good. Enjoyed being bored out of my skull last night watching England, but apart from that, all good.
Is a walk taking place as part of the Liverpool's testimonial? Donations are available.
Do you know what? Everyone's kicking off about it. I don't think it's that bad. Like every other country has had one of these games. Like that's the equivalent of if it was Man City against Bournemouth, but not Burnley. Yeah, sorry, Bournemouth are much better than that, aren't they? But Burnley, then you would have gone Burnley, strong defence for a lot of the game, played well, actually had a bit of a go, and they just saw them off in the end. Like, I don't know why everyone has an absolute hissy fit about the fact that in any other context, that's a good defensive performance from the opponent, and England's quality just told in the end. You would have, if that was a club game, you would have described that as a very good win for a big club side. But for some reason, because it's England, they need to win everything 6-0 and play like Brazil. Like Spain drew with Cape Verde, for Christ's sake, and nobody's saying that.
Welcome to East Midlands Airport, or should we say the easiest Midlands Airport. the airport at the heart of the UK, flying to over 70 destinations. The easier airport with faster check-in and security that gives you extra time to relax and get in last-minute shopping. The airport that gets the kids on board before they get bored. East Midlands Airport, the easiest way to get away. To book your next holiday, visit eastmidlandsairport.com.
Although in the middle of that they did lose that, the only match they've lost so far to Gloucestershire last Sunday. 4 runs here for the first time from the bat.
There's hopefully things a little bit better for you as Fahim comes in. That's edge for 4. We missed a drop catch while we were away.
Here's Don round the wicket, and lovely shot lofted. It wasn't too far from the hand of the diving short extra cover, but Yorkshire have won 6 times down here previously, and just the one tie between the sides in T20 history, which came on this ground in 2015. Lovely shot here. Full is just over pitched, hasn't he, Don Bess?
Moving away from us now. Bowls a short delivery that's pulled forward is square. That's going to be 4 on 2 bounces. Right to the pitch of the ball, Kelly, and charge down the track. He likes to do that, Kelly. Get to the pitch of the ball or as close to it as he can. And that's flashed by Kelly. Backward is square. That's 4 runs. Cut shot and a late cut shot.
35 for 1 still then. In comes Moeen and he gives him the charge here, and that's gone a long way. That has gone a long way over long on into the crowd at the Bennett end. What has Moeen got as a response then? 41 for 1 with that half dozen. Oh, he's got him here, surely. AJ ties underneath it and takes a very easy catch, just lofted wide of mid-off, but plenty of time for Ty to get underneath it and take his second. Yorkshire have taken their second wicket. Leicestershire 41 for 1 and Patel gone for 14. 41 for 2 I should say, and Patel gone for 4.
4 for Heen. He's in, and that's pulled around the corner for 4 runs. The fine leg is quite square. And comes down the track, hits down the grounds for 6. That's a great shot. Right to the pitch of the ball and skied it. But he's doing pretty well as it is. Ty to bowl his second over from the pavilion end. Down the pitch comes Tattersall. He's hit this high in the air, but there's a slip from the fielder. It's gone over his head. It was straight down his throat.
He's zipping off there for a couple of weeks to keep his T20 skills going. As Tattersall launches into this one, gave himself a bit of room, opened up the offside, and the ball disappeared past him for 4. Would have been a comfortable catch, you would have thought, as he's coming into play here. Wharton is not quite going to get there to a nicely played reverse sweep by Tattersall. Another boundary.
And thunders in. He's up to the wicket. Bowls. That's pulled round the corner. There's a man out in the deep mid wicket who takes it. Great catch by Bess. And there's a bit of chat between Kelly and Ali, and which is still going as he walks off. Kelly has to go for a very good 40.
Long on, long off, cow corner and deep backward square on the leg side, and also find that he's walking back to the dressing room because Jaffa Chauhan has just bowled him off stump, and things beginning to turn fairly quickly with the loss.
Hassan Ali's going to bowl his 3rd over, and he's bowled him. That one kept really low. It might have been a slower delivery as well.
There's Jaffa Chauhan. Oh, now then, Ben, he's gone.
That'd be lovely.
It looked like it was close.
You go the other way.
Ty There's a great ramp from Cox, and it's gone basically over the wicket-keeper's head for 4 runs.
If you don't get him out early, you can see a few runs on the board, and there's a few runs on the board here. Liam Travaskis, he's just waited for that over.
Hassan Ali comes in, bowls. That's cut forward of square. That's going to go for 4 runs. There's no fielder out there. Square of the wicket on the boundary. There's a short cover. 2-1 for 6. And Cox waits and cracks this for 4 as a chase on that the fielder's going to lose.
Great shot.
Yeah, so he's got it for the big stage, and that's a lovely shot as well. Just chipped that really over.
Comes Hassan Ali. That's a big shot in the air from Travaskis, but there's a fielder out there at deep square leg who takes it. As he comes in, there's the scoop. It's up in the air, but there's a fielder there who takes it. So short fine leg.
Here is Fahim in again. That's pulled backward of square. Lovely shot. Got plenty on that, Ben Cox. And yep, Fahim to Cox, who's driven that one to AJ Tye just up inside the circle at mid-off. And so Davey 3, Cox 33, and Leicestershire have come up just short of the 150 mark. 147 for 8. As
bowler for Leicestershire bowling slow, and that is a slow first ball that's going to be hit for 4. Swept behind square on the leg side, and it races away to the boundary rope. Just back of a length from Turner. Former England man waits. Turner is in. Back goes Bairstow and crunches that for 4. It's a back foot push. It's going to run away. Actually, the fielder's chasing it. There's a big battle on, but it is the ball that wins the race. Big dive that comes in. Turner bowling right arm over the wicket to the right-handed Bairstow. That's a slog down the ground from Bairstow. He's going to get 4 for that as well. 1-2 bounce 4.
Who would ordinarily have been here is watching on the stream. And that one has been dropped a little bit too short, really, hasn't it? And Johnny. So here is Travaskis, and Bairstow's flicked this one off his legs, and that's 4. Just 1 bounce, lofted it away. Over. Here's Travaskis, reverse sweep by Johnny. He's absolutely timed the backside off that. What would have been a second T20 ton, and then 20 off 7 balls against Lancashire on Friday night. But Travaskis is going for more runs here. 3rd boundary. Bairstow 39 with Outlaws. Travaskis, he goes reverse again this time. That's nearly to hand, but not quite, and it's a 4th 4.
So here comes Ian Holland, and that's pulled in the air court. And Bairstow has to go. That hit the toe end of the bat, and a diving, tumbling stop by fine leg. Is that Josh Davey there, isn't it? Filming,
improving with his figures.
Lyth goes for the big hit. That's high up in the air. Rehan Ahmed is there at deep backward square leg and takes it in the most casual manner that you will see all day. Lyth has to go. Strange innings for him, really. He's been just at the other end for most of it, and his first big shot, he has been dismissed for 3, and that is 2 wickets in quick succession for Leicestershire. They may feel they are back in this T20. He comes now to bowl to Luxton, who hits him high up in the air. There's no fielder at deep mid wicket, and it's 6. Lands just over the ropes. Short brown hair, runs in, bowls full outside off stump, and is cream for 4 through extra cover. Lovely shot.
As here is the man Luxton cutting this one wide of short 3rd man. That will be racing away for 4 more. Just a bit too much width from Rehan with that delivery.
As Green comes in, that's pulled around the corner, up in the air. There's a fielder out there. It's over his head and goes for 4.
A different shade of green here. Alex on his bowled him. Wharton's gone right across outside off stump. He's had a look and he's chewed up 10 balls there in getting 2.
But it's Luxton who finds some form here. Davey on the leg side. Well, that's found the boundary, no problem. 6 runs, and that's gone about 8 rows back. Picked up off the leg side.
Here's Green to Moeen, who's got a top edge on this one with another slash outside off stump, and it travelled very quickly down beneath our commentary position for 4.
Ahmed moves away from us. That's drilled down the ground, straight as a dart down the ground, and runs away for 4.
Yeah, 12.4 compared to 13.6. Well, bang on 14 overs for Leicestershire.
Oh, appeal for leg before wicket. That's surely out. I think that's the wrong one from Ahmed.
Hopefully his next 3 balls.
There's Green again. Nicely played off the legs this time by Revis. Ahmed's giving chase around the boundary and will get them. And are they going to go? Yes, no. They've had a bit of a mix-up and he's gone. Moeen is run out.
Wow.
And really, that was genuinely down to batter error. Yes, no, wait, sorry, I think is the expression. And there should have been an easy enough run.
Well, I think if you turn and go.
Good cutter of the ball.
Ahmed in flatter. Oh, and there's an appeal for a catch. He's out. Revis. Round the wicket to the left-hander. And this is hit down the ground. That's a big hit. It's a great hit from Fahim. It's gone for 6. Over the side screen. Just over pitching that, Ahmed.
And, you know, those really tight chases where you're needing 10 and 12 and over.
Ahmed edges and caught. Fahim has gone.
Yeah, 124 for 7. Ty's got underneath this one. He's going to be caught. He is caught nonchalantly once again. Well, our Yorkshire throwing this one away. They still need 24 runs to win, and they now have only 2 wickets left with which to get them.
Ahmed has been involved.
Struck it straight past the bowler for 4. He's bowled him. Oh, Travaskis has knocked out his leg stump. And could this be a remarkable?
After 11 probably, you would have said it was well within Yorkshire's control.
And Jaffa's underway straight away with 1. Are they going to take 2? Well, they can't really afford to risk a silly run out.
The penultimate ball of the innings comes in, bowls, it's hit straight back to Green, who's caught that, he says. And Leicestershire is celebrating, and they've won. It's an unbelievable catch. Chauhan stands there slightly bemused, but Leicestershire have won the game. They have bowled Yorkshire out.
Our goal are from Leicestershire Town Cricket Club today. Thank you for your assistance and support. Shout out to
Yeah, so Leicestershire in 4th on 12 points. Yorkshire are top, as are Notts with 16, and then Lancashire on 12 as well with Leicestershire, and then you've got Derbyshire and Durham in 5th and 6th. So the top 2 automatically go through, and then the top 2 best 3rd place teams go through. So Leicestershire in a pretty decent position. I'd suggest they need to win today, really, if they are to stay within touch of certainly a top 2, maybe a 3rd place finish as well. The problem for them is their net run rate is really bad. Their cricketing equivalent of goal difference is really bad. So they really need to get there on points 1 alone, which will mean they'll probably need to win, I suggest, probably 4 of their last 5 if they're going to get through. That's probably where they are. They are within with a sniff, definitely. But I think they really need to win today. This is the 4th of 4 home games in a row, Owen, across 2 different competitions, and they've only won 1 of the 3 so far. So I think this is a really good opportunity for them. Yeah, and there are some quality players in that Notts team, absolutely. You've got, Benny Owl is probably one of the best domestic all-rounders in the game at the moment. He's a superb player. You've got a team stacked full of internationals really there. And you saw on Friday night when Lancashire came to town, the likes of Salt and Butler in that team, some of the best players in the world came to Grace Road on Friday night. And all it took really was for one of them to turn up. One of them did turn up. Liam Livingston won the game for them single-handedly pretty much. I don't think it's quite the same. It doesn't feel like quite as much of a mismatch. Nottinghamshire have definitely got better players, but I think that you are still in a situation, really, as it always is with Leicestershire, that they need to become greater than the sum of their parts, have a couple of players really turn up. Rahan Ahmed needs to be the star of the show, or Ashton Turner, their overseas big batter, and they need to hope that basically none of the Notts players turn up, which has happened in the past, and Leicestershire have often had a habit. They've got a better record at Trent Bridge, ironically, against Notts. They've often struggled a little bit here against their local rivals, but it can happen, and the crowd, hopefully pumped up by a local derby, will be able to have some sort of impact on that as well.
A reminder there are some food choices if you want to get involved behind the chat best stand, whether it's food, there's burgers behind there, we've got a ice cream going down there. If you fancy getting something to eat this afternoon. available in the Fox bar as well.
Yeah, well, I was just looking at it. Apparently, 80% of toss winners have chosen to field first because they say that it's better to chase here. But then I've looked at the stats and it's 60-40 losing if you chase. So they're obviously not looking at the same stats that I am. But anyway, that's what they've done. They feel it's a new pitch. They use the old pitch that they used for the Yorkshire County Championship game. So I think they're feeling it's a little bit fresher and they could get more out of it in the second innings, Owen. It's the decision that everybody seems to make here at Grace Road. Whether it's borne out in the facts and the stats is another thing.
Okay, Uptonsteel, Grace Road, please welcome to the field your umpires, Paul Pollard and Russell Warren, your batsman from North Outlaws, and your Leicestershire Foxes!
Thank you, Owen. Glorious sunny skies above. It is less oppressively hot than it has been over the past week. There's a bit of a breeze in the air and it's not absolutely horrible, which it has been over the course of the week. But Leicestershire, whose 3-game winning run came to an end on Friday night, face Nottinghamshire, who are 4 in a row, Dave Bracegirdle, aren't they? And seemingly really in form. How are you feeling about this?
Yes, good afternoon, Adam. Good afternoon, everybody. A completely different, completely transformed Notts Outlaws side than that we saw in the first 3 matches. They had players away, they've tinkered, they've brought 1 or 2 in. George Linder wasn't here at the start of the competition. Liam Patterson-White, the other slow left-arm spinner, was away with England Lions. Of course, on Friday night we saw another Notts debutant in Mohammed Amir, who's now a dual passport holder, so he can play. I know it sort of looking at the Notts team like they've got 3 overseas players with George Linder, the South African, Muhammad Ali, the Pakistan Test fast bowler, and Mohammed Amir, but he's classed now as English qualified. George Munsey's found a bit of form at the top of the order. Magnificent knock from him on Friday night, 82 not out. So it's a completely transformed Notts side that we've seen over the last 4 matches. So Notts second in the North Group, just on run rate behind Yorkshire, 1-4, lost 3.
And it's going to be Ben Mike to bowl to Joe Clark, the Nottinghamshire opener, to get us underway. And Mike is in, bowls, and that's cut to cover point. Mike didn't bat or bowl on Friday night, but he's chosen to open the bowling here. Clark and Munsey, a brilliant opening pair. I did a bit of stats on this, Dave, and in the last 6 innings, Joe Clark has got 50, 24, 39, 79, 7 and 72 against Leicestershire.
Yeah.
So he can bat very well against this team.
I can bat that back against you in a moment, though, as to his form at the moment.
Here is Mike in bowling, and that is flashed at by Clark, and gets a dribbling inside edge back to Mike. There is no run.
Of course, Notts played here in the County Championship earlier in the season. He scored 97, big 100 from Ben Slater in that. But in this form, this season, Joe Clark, a top score of 24, and that came on Friday night. He is averaging 12.2 in this season's competition. Sooner or later, I keep saying it match after match, sooner or later he's going to hurt somebody. Will it be today?
Mike kicks up his heels, charges in away from us from the pavilion end. He's up to the wicket, he bowls, and Clark comes down the track and misses that. The man at the other end, George Munsey, as you were saying, won the game for Notts last night. It looked like a sparkling 82, that.
Yeah, just he'd only faced 12 balls in the initial power play, the initial 6 overs. He was 7 not out at the end of the power play, and then obviously as the innings wore on, he very quickly caught up and overtook it, and there was a barrage of 4s and 6s towards the end. Some mighty hitting.
Mike past the umpire now, bowls to Clark, a short delivery which is cut at cover point again, and there is no run. 4 dot balls to start the game.
Decent stuff from Ben Mike to begin with. Notts, of course, in all green with the white names and numbers. And for the Notts fans listening to us, Leicestershire also in green shirts. I don't think there's that many sides in green around the 18 in this year's competition. And these may be the only two. I've not seen any others, let's put it that way, who are playing in green this year. So it's a spar off.
Yeah, they look like they could be playing in the same kit, don't they? It's very, very similar indeed. In comes Green, he bowls straight to delivery, which is flicked to mid-on, no run. 5 dot balls to start the game. If it was a football game, it would definitely be called off for a colour clash.
Yeah. Of course, the officials in there, I don't know, I think every match we call it something different. It's a vivid pink, a fuchsia colour. 2 umpires with Nottinghamshire links, both Paul Pollard and Russell Warren. Paul Pollard is at the standing end here, and is he about to call over after that rarest of rare beasts in T20 cricket, a maiden?
Mike in bowls. Clark goes back, and there's an appeal for a catch, but that is a good bouncer. Clark didn't expect that, and that is a maiden to start us off. Wow. Ben Mike, a bit of a surprise pick to open us, get us underway, has bowled a maiden, and Nottinghamshire yet to score in the first day of this match. BBC Radio Leicester, BBC Radio Nottingham, Adam Whitty, Dave Bracegirdle with you under sunny skies. We're also on the Leicestershire stream on YouTube as these two East Midlands rivals go head to head again.
Yeah, it's a match that the record books have it actually 19 wins apiece, 10 rain-affected fixtures over the years across the two grounds, Trent Bridge and here at Grace Road. 19 wins apiece, 10 rain-affected. I would say that myself that Leicester should have a 19-18 lead and 1 tied. That T20 quarter-final game at Trent Bridge in 2020, which finished in a tie, and they had Notts went through. As Green starts a new over, and Muncie's away with a 4. First ball inside edge past the off stump, completely wrong footing the keeper. He had no chance, and he's got 4 down the ground. It all went back to, I think, runs in the power play, and that's how Notts got through to finals day and Leicestershire Foxes didn't. The scores were level, but because there was a winner, it was a knockout game. It doesn't go down in the books as a tie, it goes down as a Notts win. But that's a little bizarre. One of 2 knockout matches that the sides have played. Of course, the final of 2006, Leicestershire winning controversially, and Muncey drives this one down the ground for 4. And if you look at his wagon wheel at the moment, he's got one straight past the stumps at this end, a nick past the stumps past the keeper for 4, and now he's driven one within an extra coat of varnish past the stumps at the other end for 4. Muncey on to 8.
Yes, Muncey seeming to find things a lot easier than Joe Clark at the moment. If you're a Notts fan, you don't know anything about Alex Green. England under-19 international, very young, promising player for Leicestershire.
Yes, indeed. Big, tall right-arm seamer comes in again, and a little play and a miss here from the Scottish international, 33-year-old George Muncey. He's born in Oxford, but of Scottish heritage. Played regular international cricket. He's had a few darts with 3 other counties in the blast over the years and not really come off. It's only in sort of the last couple of years when he's been pummeling associate nations in various qualifying competitions for Scotland that he's really found his best form. He'll turn this to leg, and there'll be at least one. They're going to have a little bit of a look, and in fact they're going to come comfortably back for a second. Isn't that Travaskis out there?
It is.
On the leg side to the left-hander, on the meat side of the ground. Seen one match here already today. It was here nice and early to see Leicestershire women and Glamorgan women, one that went right down unexpectedly to the very last ball. It was quite an extraordinary ill-paced run chase by Leicestershire. This has eased into the offside, and by that I mean they never looked to be in with a sniff, going along at 3 and 4 and over. I think they needed 20 from the last over, and got 17 of them.
Yeah.
Just decided then it was time to go, with the young lady coming in at whatever it was, 9 or 10, and teeing off, hitting the only 6 of the day, and a couple of 4s as well in that last over, and it all went down to the last ball rather dramatically.
I'm not sure the coach Stephen Franklin would be too happy with the way they went about it.
No. No, if that over had come a little earlier, they might have got there. Here's Green from the far end, and Munsey will tuck this to mid-on. And there's no run, and that's the end of an over that was certainly dominated in the early stages by Munsey. A 4, a 4 and a 2. 3 dots as well. So Notts Outlaws 10 without loss, as Adam was just alluding to just before the match started. Notts 4 wins, 3 defeats now. They've sort of turned round their form after 3 losses. 3 poor performances in truth. Played well over the last 4. Leicestershire 3 wins, 4 defeats. I think you need to get to 7 really to sort of harbour realistic hopes of getting through. 7 wins out of the 12 matches. So after this they've both only got 4 games left.
Sam Wood is going to bowl from the pavilion end. Just 1 over on Friday night, went for 10. He comes in, bowls a short delivery that's hit high in the air and over the top of Ben Green. Joe Clark is off the mark with a swash at this over the top of the head of mid-on for 4. Yeah, the funny thing is both teams lost the first 3. And then Leicestershire won 3 in a row, but then lost to Lancs on Friday night. However, the quality of player in that team, Dave, they had Butler, Salt, Livingston, Mahmood, Wood. It was an international level team, really. Here comes Wood, bowls, and it's edged for 4 over the top of Ben Cox's head, straight as a dart down the ground behind the wicket keeper, essentially. And there's another 4 for Joe Clark. That one even more fortuitous than the other one. 18 for no loss.
Yes, like Munsey in the previous over, he started then with 2 4s, one straight down the ground, almost as straight as a die, and then one over the keeper's head for 4. 4 boundaries in this 18, and they've not exchanged ends yet.
That's Wood. Light blonde hair, tall, runs in, that's cut, and that's going to rush towards the boundary. It's going there, and it's just going to win the battle. The ball through extra cover for 4 runs. Nick Kelly was chasing it but lost the battle. One thing I did notice about the women's game earlier, Dave, was how slow the outfield looked. The quite big boundaries at Grace Road, but I sort of thought that you would often see the ball slow up quite dramatically. What would be a 4 in most places was slowing up as Wood moves away from us, kicking up his heels from the pavilion end. He bowls, and that's glanced in the air. That's going to be 4 more as well. Rushing towards the long leg boundary. In fact, as that's scooped in, that's brilliantly well stopped out there by Liam Travaskis, I think, who dived for it right in front of the boundary rope and scooped the ball in. I presume they would have got 3 will they?
Yep. So Clark with 3 4s and a 3, and eventually they change ends. Munsey, the left-hander, down at the Bennett end to face his first ball from that end.
Got the ground staff sat up against the covers. It's one of the regular sights of a T20 match at Grace Road. They used to have, it's like a swan or a goose or a duck or something that they'd have as a little thing next to them, like a fake duck, but I think they've got rid of that. Here is Wood bowling to the left-handed Munsey, who pulls this round the corner and is going to get 4 runs for it. Ooh. Munsey on to 14 from 7, and Wood being taken to the cleaners. 19 off this over already. We've still got 1 ball to go.
Yeah, it's incredible that it's 29 without loss. We've not finished the 3rd over, and we began with a maiden.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Lovely conditions now. There's a little bit of a breeze today, which is absolutely ideal. In the past, this fixture has been heavily affected by the rain. 2014, 2015, 2016, not a ball bowled in those 3 fixtures here.
Wood in bowls, and that's defended by Munsey. They've done all the damage they needed to from that over already, which is remarkable. So 2 overs have gone for 29 from a Notts Outlaws perspective. Clark 15, Munsey 14, the run rate just under 10. And just to remind you, if you just joined us a little bit late, the first over was a maiden. So 29 for no loss to score, and it's a pretty bruising start from Notts Outlaws.
Rest of the batting card, Jack Haynes has been coming in at 3, Freddie McCann, the left-hander, at 4. In fact, Notts have got 6 left-handers in this lineup. I can't remember them having as many in one side. Freddie McCann, a left-hander at 4. Tom Moore's a left-hander at 5. George Linder, a left-hander at 6. Then Benny Howell will break it up. He's a right-hander. Liam Patterson-White, a left-hander. Ollie Stone, Muhammad Ali, and Mohammed Amir will be a left-hander. Going to be Ben Mike, who's switched ends. He's wondering what the problem is with the other bowlers, because he began with a maiden. See what he does to Joe Clark again. Comes in and bowls, and this is pushed into the offside. So he's now bowled 7 dot balls. Ben Mike, whose dad, of course, Greg, used to play for Notts back in the late 80s, early 90s.
He's feast or famine, Ben Mike.
Yeah.
He's going at 12 and over so far in this competition. But this is not unusual either. You will see him get 3 for 16 or something, or 4 overs sometimes, and yet none for 52. Yeah, that's probably been his main issue.
Comes in again from the Bennett end. Bright sunshine, strong shadows around the players. That's a no ball. Now that really is a cardinal sin in this form of the game. It's been chopped to deep backward point for a single by Joe Clark, but the recipient of this free hit is going to be George Munsey, and what I've seen of him so far this season is he's not somebody that tends to look a gift horse in the mouth, as we saw in the last over that he faced. Likes to put all his ample frame behind the big blows. Let's see what Mike can do to try and keep him quiet. 31 without loss. This is a free hit then, signalled by umpire Pollard at the far end. Mike bowls across his stumps and tried to hit it over deep square leg. Just have a look at umpire Pollard. Is he going to tap his knee? He is, so it's a leg by. So as bad as the previous one was in overstepping, that was a good comeback from Ben Mike. Only let them get a leg by.
Yeah, hasn't cost them too much.
Last 2 years here, right at the start, Adam was saying this is a fixture that Leicestershire have had the better of it at Trent Bridge. Leicestershire have won the last 2 years here. Bidding to make it 3 in a row. Nice shot from Clark. He's got hold of that one. Straight down the ground for 4, Joe Clark. But in great form in the Championship. Country's leading run scorer in the Championship. But in the Blast, as I said, 24 is his top. Will this be the day that he can really go on and put a substantial score on the board?
A lot of bottom hand in that, wasn't there, Dave? That was a nice shot. Too full from Mike, but the way he dug it out beautifully and made the most out of it was impressive.
Clark on to 20. Faced 13 deliveries, 4 of them have been hit for 4. Mike bowls to him again. A little bit of movement in the crease, and that thuds into his pad. Believe it or not, Notts have never had in the 24-25 years of the Blast a score in excess of Joe Clark's 79 against Leicestershire at Trent Bridge in 2024. They've had a number of centuries against other counties, a lot of 90s and 80s, but they've never had anybody more than 79 against Leicestershire. And of course, the Foxes have seen 4 different players register tons against Notts. Brad Hodge, Jim Allenby, Greg Smith, who ended up at Trent Bridge, and the South African Cameron Delport was the last to do it. Here's Mike into Clark, and he's hit this one again nice and straight, and he's got hold of that one very close to the rope. I think it's probably gone all the way. Paul Pollard doesn't need to check with anybody down there. He had a good view of it, the umpire, and it's away for 6 runs. And both, it has to be said, both Clark and Munsey striking it cleanly, but striking it straight as well. I think even if he'd had a long on or a long off, they wouldn't have got anywhere near it.
No. This is slightly ominous for Leicestershire. The ball seems to be coming off the bat very nicely and very quickly. Even the false shots are getting boundaries. It's a new pitch, and they wanted it to be true, Leicestershire. They wanted a bit of pace and bounce and something about it, but I fear that it may well be a road, this, and if Notts can punish Leicestershire.
42 without loss. Mike in once more. Foolish delivery on the pads of Joe Clark. Just tucks it away off his hips. Out to Rahan Ahmed. Over on the Milligan Road side of the ground for a single. Joe Clark will keep strike. He's gone to 27, so this is now his highest score of this Blast season. And Notts a 43 without loss after 4, and that was another healthy over for the visitors. 14 runs coming from it. Munsey's got 14, Clark 27.
Well, I mentioned the pitch, didn't I? I mentioned the fact that seemingly captains want to field first here almost every time. So in the past 3 seasons, 80% of captains who've won the toss have fielded first. I was just looking up the stats in T20s. If you've done that this year, there's been 1 win, 3 losses. But overall, there's a slight advantage of the 16 games played here, in which the team has fielded first in the past 3 seasons. There's been 9 wins and 7 losses, so I'm not quite sure it's the advantage you think it is, or captains seem to think it is. Certainly not this year, where there's been 1 win of 4. Liam Travaskis is going to bowl. The score is 43 for no loss. Clark is on 27 off 16, Muncy 14 off 9, and this the 5th over. Travaskis comes in, left arm, round the wicket, and is beautifully driven uppishly for 4 runs. It's a 1 bounce 4, but it's beautifully timed. That is coming pristinely off Clark's bat. Made a bit of room for himself, moving over to the leg side, and carved that away for a lovely 4.
Not like to chase. If they'd won the toss, I'm sure it would have been role reversal. But they've got to weigh up quickly what's a good score on this pitch.
Travaskis in bowls, and same again. Slightly straighter this time, and 2 more runs as well. 6 this time from Clark, but 2 full from Travaskis, and whacked back over his head for 6 runs. And this is a scary start from Notts Outlaws, and Liam Travaskis has conceded 10 runs off his first 2 balls, and the 50 is up inside 4.2 overs. As Travaskis is in, drags his length back a little bit, bowls faster, and that wasn't expected by Clark, and he pulls it to 2 mid-on. There is no run. Clark just pulls away from Travaskis as he's coming in there. There didn't seem to be anything moving. He probably just wasn't ready. I wonder whether Travaskis was already coming into him. This one is hit high up in the air. It's going to land just in front of long off, though. Ashton Turner is there. That was annoyingly hit from a Leicestershire perspective, because if there had been a mid-off in, it would have been sailed over his head, but it was still good 15-20 metres in from Ashton Turner. I don't think there were any circumstances where that was going to be caught.
No, but any of the previous 7 matches, that would have gone straight to a field. He's perhaps... I mean, he's striking the ball nicely, and he's due a little bit of fortune, Joe Clark.
So, Travaskis is in, and Muncy moves across his stumps, but Travaskis watches him and follows him, and that's just dabbed into the leg side. There is a single added to the total, so that is 12 runs off this, the 5th over. That's Travaskis. Brown hair, diminutive, comes in, and that is whacked over the head and mid-on for 4. Baseball style club bat from Clark. He loves that shot, doesn't he? It's very effective. Limited back lift and follow through, but he has smashed that down the ground. 59 for no loss are Notts Outlaws after 5 overs, so they're going at what, 11.5 an over off the first 5, says man who's doing maths on the radio. 11.8. There we go, 11.8. That wasn't too bad. 59 for no loss. Clark is on 42 and continuing his rich vein of form against Leicestershire in the T20. Yeah, 271 runs in the last 6 innings against Leicestershire, 3 50s, and he looks set to add to that.
Yeah, I know you don't get jet lag from going to Kent, but Notts had a tricky and some would say ridiculous T20 fixture down at Canterbury on Friday. Here is Green back into the attack, and Muncy has hit this away behind square on the leg side as my
chair
seat
did
has
that.
just imploded on me.
My chair did that on Friday. It's a screw that comes loose somewhere.
I'll try not to move more than I need. Muncy getting a single 60 without loss. Yeah, obviously having done the journey myself, not in an air-conditioned luxury coach with all mod cons, but Notts obviously
just in your Lamborghini.
Had to go to Canterbury and back. They stayed overnight, came back yesterday. I did as well. Next ball is... Oh, he's bowled him. Clark is out. Pitched up delivery from Green. And a really important wicket for the Foxes. Joe Clark out for 42, bowled by Alex Green in the 6th over. He's given his side a really, really fast start there, Joe Clark. Again, he'll feel he's left some runs personally out there. Leicestershire will feel, thank goodness, that's the back of him. But certainly was 60 up, and the power play still 4 deliveries left to run. Clark and Muncie have got Notts off to a flying start.
Yeah, it's a blistering start for Notts. And Alex Green, interesting one, can be flogged around a bit. Bowled very well against Lancs on Friday night, but what he does have is just a little bit of sprinkling of magic, Dave. He can get you an important wicket. He bowls with a little bit of extra pace. He is built like, again, if you haven't seen him, you're listening to us on the radio, he is the broadest shouldered 19-year-old that you're ever going to see in your life. And I think he just gets that extra little pace and bounce that can sometimes put batsmen off. But Clark, I love watching Clark every single time he plays against Leicestershire. He's just got he's just such a quality player and always plays such a good innings against them.
New man is Jack Haynes, Notts' second highest scorer in this season's competition, behind Muncie. 176 runs at 25 apiece. Just the 150, but a run of consistent scores up until Friday when he fell for just 1 at Kent. Right-hander, former Worcestershire player, on strike now as Green bowls, and he drives it into the offside and fielded at extra cover by the man with no name. Looks as if we've perhaps got a sub out there, no name, no number.
No, they had quite a few nameless players on Friday night. I think that might be Everson, actually. Or it might be Wood.
Joey Everson on loan from Kent, of course, started his career with Notts. They were mourning his move away from Kent on Friday night. This one's hit into the offside through where that fielder was. It's not going to go all the way to the fence. Ben Green is after it, and it's a good stop from Ben Green over by that far floodlight at deep extra cover, and they'll get a couple of runs. It's too far away from me at the moment, Ben Green, to see if he's still got that wonderful moustache.
He does.
Yeah.
I can guarantee that the moustache and the mullet is still very much there. I don't think he's getting rid of that. It's his brand, Dave.
Well, it would have been remiss of me just to mention it and then you say, well, because I know you interviewed him before the start of play. No, he's shaved it off now, Dave. Next ball sees Haynes a little drop and run into the offside. In comes Travaskis, and he underarms it, flicks it towards the far end, but Haynes comfortably home. So that is the end of the power play. 6 overs are done. 63 for 1 is the Outlaws score. They were put into bat. I beg your pardon, we've got a ball left. We're just swapping over for the left-hander. Muncie's back on strike. 63 for 1. We've got a trumpeter as well.
It's the Barmy Armour trumpeter. They've done a deal with I don't know how you could do a deal with the Barmy Army, but they have done one, Leicestershire.
Muncie on 16. Prepares to face this ball down the leg side, and he'll get another one to face because that's very wide. They were making the point on TMS that there haven't been any renditions of Jerusalem or anything from the Barmy Army at Trent Bridge for the Test match, and wondered if the trumpeter had been denied entrance, or whether his trumpet had. But perhaps he's here today. 64 for 1. Muncie in again. Another drive into the offside, and he'll get a single. So having already written on my piece of paper that the power play ended on 63 for 1, we'll have the first crossing out of the day. It is actually 65 for 1. And Muncie, like on Friday night at Canterbury, has again only faced 12 balls in the power play. 17 not out from 12. Jack Haynes is 3 not out from 3. The man out, Joe Clark, bowled by Alex Green for 42 from 22 balls, hit 6 fours and 2 sixes to get his side off to a flying start. BBC Radio Leicester, BBC Radio Nottingham. I'm Dave Bracegirdle, to talk you through a little bit of pace off now, it's Adam Whitty.
Yeah, it's going to be Rahan Ahmed, Leicestershire's superstar all-rounder. It's turned into a very nice afternoon. It was a little bit blustery earlier on in the day. You can still pick up a bit of the wind in our effects microphone, but it has settled down quite nicely. The trees all around the ground have stopped swaying. The flags looking a little bit limper than they were, as Rahan Ahmed is going to bowl right arm round the wicket to the left-handed Muncie, and I think that's going to be a wide first up. Tossed it out wide outside off stump. Muncie went for it but missed it, and so he'll have to bowl that one again. Little tilt to the head from Ahmed. 66 for 1. as Ahmed is in, and that is whacked down the ground for 4. Low full toss from Rahan Ahmed, which was punished. Came right across his stumps, Muncie, flashed it down the ground. 70 for 1, Muncie onto 21.
Yeah, Muncie going into today's match as the 8th match being played by a lot of the counties today. Was second top scorer in the competition, just behind Bo Webster.
Ahmed in, and that smack slog sweep for 6. That is going into the Guinness bar. Oh no, in fact it's onto the Milligan Road. You probably heard the clunk on the corrugated iron roof of the Guinness bar, and I think that has gone into the garages on the far side of the Milligan Road there. That's a big hit from Muncie, and Ahmed has been hit for 10 runs off the last 2 balls.
Yes, it's a relatively big hit on what we've seen so far in terms of what he was hitting on Friday night at Canterbury. That was just a little baby one. That one just cleared the rope in Friday night's terms. Crikey, can't half give it a wallop. 76 for 1. And this represents a really good start for Notts, and the alarm bells must be ringing in the Foxes camp already.
Yeah, 100%. It's weather. I mean, Notts are well on course for 200 here, aren't they? At least. If they keep their wickets in hand and they carry on at this run rate, they're well on course for 200.
Poor old Rayan, he's got figures at the moment of 2 balls, none for 11.
Of course, there's
starting
a wide,
with a wide.
I had in my head, well, he has bowled 3 deliveries technically, but only 2 of them legally. But I had in my head we'd had 3 balls in the over. We only had 2, and Muncie has made Leicestershire's most dynamic player look very average indeed so far, and he moves across his stumps, goes for the sweep again, but I think that was the googly from Ahmed, which meant that he got a thick inside edge going for the sweep, which dribbles down the deep backward square leg. The player's out at the end of the power play, that aforementioned deep backward square leg. Nick Kelly is running to deep mid wicket, and actually Ashton Turner is coming inside the ring. There's a long off and a long on, deep cover, deep backward point. Ahmed, right arm over the wicket to the right-handed Haynes, who goes back and glances this down the pitch, and then Travaskis will field, running in from long on. 78 for 1.
Haynes' role at the moment is 4 from 4. If he does get a bad ball, obviously he'll try and put it away, but now it's just to feed Muncie.
As Ahmed is in, again he comes across his stumps and tries to whack this away, and in the end the ball just runs down to short fine leg. Rishi Patel slips but catches it, and there is no run. Very high white cloud in the skies. It's a very pleasant afternoon, pastel colours all around the crowd as Ahmed is in. There's the slog sweep again, and Ashton Turner's on the boundary rope, can't get to it, and that's over his head too. So a second 6 of the over, and an expensive over for Leicestershire. 19 off it. Rahan Ahmed's first. 84 for 1. Notts at the moment. If you run through some of the bigger overs that Notts have had, 10 off the second, 19 off the third, 14 off the fourth, 16 off the fifth, and now 19 off the 7th. They're going at 12 and over, so on course for a score of, well,
in excess of 200.
Well in excess of 200. I think you're probably looking at 220, 230 at the moment with the rates that they are going at the moment. Muncie 34, Haynes on 4, the score 84 for 1.
Yeah, Jack Haynes to face. Going to be, board says Alex Green. I don't think it is Alex Green, is it? Comes in now, it's Ben Green. That's Ben Green. His first ball is tucked away by Haynes, who's now 5 singles in a row. Yes, the board showing Alex Green, but there is the mustachioed former Somerset player.
He's such a good T20 player. He's won it a couple of times.
They've still got it. They've put the figures up as Alex Green now. 2.1 overs, 1 for 17. They'll sort it out. Muncie back on strike on 84. Bigger hit to the leg side when he's facing the bowling from the Bennett end. Can only push this into the offside, and there's no run.
He's gone for a bit though, has Ben Green. He's going at 10.5 and over. one for 30 on Friday night, but he's got 9 wickets, conceded 236 runs for his 22 overs so far, so he's not as parsimonious as he normally is.
Bowls now to Munsey. That might indeed be a leg bite, just dropped away. Square of the wicket on the leg side, fielded by Rishi Patel. It is a leg bye. Munsey's kept up his sequence of at least getting into double figures every match so far. He's had some really big scores. 88 not out against Durham, 82 not out against Kent, 50 against Derbyshire, 40s and 30s and 20s as well. There's Green in now to Jack Hames, and he's lifted this straight to mid-off and out. And Jack Hames goes for 5. So a lot of runs coming from the other end with Clark and indeed Munsey, but Jack Hames has fallen, and he's decided he's going to make the journey off to the far end. Not so changing at the far end, at the Bennett end. And this is slightly strange, isn't it? Hames marching off in the other direction, and Tom Moores is coming onto the field from down below us where the dugouts are. Yeah, 86 for 2.
I was slightly confused by that. You probably see my head moving in all kinds of different directions. I was slightly confused by that. Yeah, look, it just didn't seem to get you were right what you said in the last David. He was just sort of trying to get Munsey on strike, but I suppose there comes a point when you have to start properly contributing to the innings, and as soon as he tried that, he holed out. So just one of those things, sadly, in T20 cricket. And here is the Antwerp Anchor's finest, Tom Moores.
Yeah, he's been away for the last fortnight playing in the Belgian Premier League. They've slipped him up ahead of Freddie McCann today. Normally comes in at 5 behind McCann, so I would only imagine this is just trying to increase or keep up the momentum they've got at the moment. Tom Moores.
I couldn't believe the quality of players that were playing in the Belgian Premier League. I looked it up, it was remarkable. Like Moeen Ali was playing for the Antwerp Anchors as well, but they were Pretorius, the South African, was playing.
Alex Hales played in the competition as well for somebody. Here's Green into Tom Moores, the Notts wicket-keeper bat, and he'll tuck this away on the leg side for a single, so he's up and running. 87 for 2. Tom Moores has had one sizable score in this year's competition, but the game was already done really by the time he got his 75 not out against Derbyshire. Derbyshire, in one of those early matches where Notts really didn't bowl well, got 235. Notts well beaten. Green to Munsey. Now he's just dropped it on the leg side. The field is set deep. There'll only be a single. Leicestershire field just working their way back into this, as we've seen in cricket since the game was invented. The board showing that that's 6, and Paul Pollard's just having to check. He hadn't called over, and now he has to say, oh, that is 6. We're going to have, I think we're going to have some T-shirts and various other goodies fired off into the crowd. I think the announcement came before the announcement that it was the end of the over. A good one for the Foxes. Notts are 88 for 2 after 8. Only 4 from that over and a wicket.
Yeah, still very much though Notts on top, you have to say. Having started very positively, he did quite well in the Belgian Premier League, Moores, didn't he? I think he got a 50 in his last innings before he came back to Notts. My point is, the Antwerp Anchors is a rubbish name for a sporting franchise, particularly in T20, where, because anchors stop things, you want them to be dynamic. You can't call your team the Anchors when they're
It might be the Belgian word for dynamic, for all I know.
Von Onkers.
It's alliterative, isn't it? Antwerp.
Yeah, I know, but
what else would you throw on there?
You wouldn't have like the Bruges Breaks or something, would you?
Antwerp Aces. There's Mike.
Who's running away from us now from the pavilion end, bowls wide outside the off stump. Oh, I think that's a little bit. I'm going to watch the replay on that before I say that. That looks a tad harsh, although the way that Munsey was leaning over to try and reach it suggests that perhaps it wasn't. But I thought that looked inside that blue line to me. You seemed dubious about my call.
Yeah, I thought it was a wide one.
Fine. I will accept both yours and the umpire's judgment over my own. 89 for 2. The run rate's still at 11 for Notts as Mike is in. He bowls, and that's cut forward of square straight at cover. There's no run. Yeah, remarkable. They must have ploughed loads of money into that Belgian T20 league. because it's not somewhere that I'd associate with it. But I think they did it quite cleverly, didn't they? They did it in the 2-week break.
Yeah,
packed a bunch of games in there.
Yeah. I spoke to Tom Moores on Friday evening about it. Said he very much enjoyed it. Found a bit of form as well, he said.
As Mike is in 9th over of the game, bowls a full toss that crunches into Munsey's pad, and so it's going to get a leg bye out into the leg side.
Ground pleasantly populated. There's still plenty of room for people to come along. Not quite the
not quite
cut and thrust of a local rivalry. I saw the Leicestershire media trying to do their little bit. The noisy neighbours are in town today, they tweeted earlier. The noisy neighbours, I ask you.
As Mike in bowls a good Yorker that is pleasantly driven by Moores, digs that out well, and he will move on to 2, playing that out to cover.
Leicestershire, of course, one of the sides that still has joint most number of wins in this competition, 3 wins, but not for 15 years. Notts have won it twice since Leicestershire last won it. Notts winners in 2017 and 2020.
Just 2 quarter-finals in that time as well, Dave. They are arguably. I think Middlesex are the only team that have been there less recently than Leicestershire to finals day. Mike up to the wicket, bowls, and that's cut behind square. You can hear the nice sound of the bat there as that runs to Rehan Ahmed at backward point.
Middlesex don't play T20 cricket. That's it.
No, well,
death taxes and Middlesex don't play T20 cricket. That's the 3 standards we've got. And of course, one of the Leicestershire wins, which we'll have to touch on, 2006 at Trent Bridge. Jim Allenby, that big no ball.
Wasn't a no ball.
Will Smith put it away for 6. And in the days before technology,
Tom Moores has got a very open stance, left-handed as Mike bowls right arm over the wicket, and he whacks this back foot punch. Very pleasant shot, actually.
Oh,
and there's a terrible throw at the stumps, and it goes wide. Mike was not quite at his stumps, and it was a really wide throw, I think, from Ahmed, and you could see Ben Mike just look back ruefully at his teammate there. He was lucky that he didn't cost Leicestershire another run or 2 or 3 there.
We've not got the Ahmed derby today. Farhan was in the Notts team, but not selected. They did both play in one of the matches last year.
Didn't Farhan get the winning runs? He was certainly batting when the winning runs were scored.
I think that may well have been it, yeah.
As Mike bowls, and that's edged, but very thick edge, to the point where it almost goes square of the wicket. Was trying to play it late, was Munsey down the ground. 94 for 2. That is the end of the over. 3 overs for Mike. They've gone for 19 runs. 94 for 2. Yeah, that game at Trent Bridge, that was a classic. Love that game. Last summer when Notts won by 1 wicket. I think Farhan played the winning shot. I think he hit it to Ahmed, who misfielded it from memory. Farhan hit it to Rehan and misfielded it, and Notts won by 1 wicket. That was a superb game. 94 for 2 at the end of the 9th over. Munsey is on 38 from 24. There can't have been too many off the end of that over. Leicestershire have slowed things down slightly.
Yeah, there's just
6 off it.
Yeah, just been 10 from the last 2 overs. It's going to be Rehan Ahmed to bowl from the far end to George Munsey, who's been becalmed a little bit over the last 2 or 3 overs. Rehan bowls. He's gone on the reverse and has got enough on it just to paddle it away, playing it almost as a right-hander there. The switch hit, gets a single. Way to our left, fielded by Nick Kelly, the Australian-born New Zealander. Lots have had Fergus O'Neill in their ranks for the championship up to this point, and he's the other way round. He's a New Zealand-born Australian. Moores, left-hander, swish and a miss, goes through to Ben Cox, and another dot ball. Notts got Freddie McCann, George Linder, Benny Howell, Liam Patterson-White still to come. Don't want to waste the opportunity here in these middle overs as another dot ball is played out to mid-wicket. 95 for 2. Tom Moores on 3. And a little push and run, and Munsey galloping down here, and he's got to be quick. better throw there, and he might have been in a little bit of trouble. It was Rishi Patel underarming it towards the keeper and didn't make a particularly good job of it, and Muncie gets back on strike. 96 for 2.
I'm going to look up what the highest T20 score that's featured a maiden is.
Round the wicket comes Rehan, who started his career with Notts. Very early affiliation with the Notts junior sides before the switch to Leicestershire's academy. And this one's reversed away by Muncie for 4, and that will bring the 100 up. Gets it away nicely, and at the end of the over, Notts just getting a timely boundary. Again, only 6 from that over, so only 14 from the last 3, but at the halfway stage, 100 for 2 means they're still well on course to get 200. Have you found the answer?
I have. It's disappointingly large. 349 for 5. Where is that? Baroda. In a T20 it's 200. Is it in a T20I?
Isn't it?
In a T20I, 297 for 6 by India against Bangladesh, where there was a maiden in it.
Yeah, saw overnight that there was the 10th worst bowling figures of all time in Test cricket brought up. One of the Bangladesh bowlers, 2 for 230.
As Ben Green is going to bowl a wide delivery first up from the pavilion end, so the score is 101 for 2.
West Indies rattled up over 600, which featured a stand of 400, and the young Bangladesh spinner went for 230 from 56 overs.
As Green is in, bowls full, that's driven down the ground. There is a fielder there at long on, and that bobbles right up in front of Mike. He does really well to take it into his chest, and they come back for 2. So Muncie is on 43, Moores on 5. So the run rate now at 10 and over as the wind really picks up. It's been it's a very windy day out there in Leicestershire, on the 3rd floor as well. So I'm going to pull that in the effects mic there. That's a little bit better, isn't it? Green, mustachioed and mulleted, runs away from us. He's up to the wicket, he bowls, and Muncie has whacked him for 6 into the Hobbit houses. And that is a huge hit from Muncie. That was right in the slot. He's moving across his stumps to take advantage of the angle from right arm over the wicket, and he's whacked it into those pizza pods that look like Frodo's going to emerge from them at any moment. Big 6, 108 for 2.
Yes, that's the VIP hospitality area, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you get 3 toppings on your pizza in there then.
Yeah,
for that.
and Ian McKellen shows up. Ben Green in, bowls a low full toss, which is driven down the ground. It's a challenge again for Mike, and again it's bobbling and bouncing its way down the ground, but he does well to catch it, Mike. And we have had 9 off the 3 legal deliveries already. 109 for 2 is the score. It's one of those days where I'm having to swap my prescription sunglasses and glasses over. The sun keeps going in and out of the clouds. Here comes Green and bowls, and that's a big whack across the line from Moores. Didn't look particularly sightly, that, but he's got a single for it down the ground to Ashton Turner. And it's sort of like the golf swing shot, that massive 6, wasn't it? Where you get it right in the slot, and the body shape is almost like a drive on the golf range. Green past the umpire, bowls another full toss that's whacked down the ground again to Turner, who takes it in soft hands to long off. This isn't a great over from Green, sadly. Go on, Dave.
He did have the choice, apparently. He got to the stage in both his golf and cricket careers where it was inevitable he was going to be a professional sportsman, and from very early on he was a scratch golfer.
Wow.
George Muncie, but elected to focus all his attention on cricket.
It's Moores facing now, and that is 4. It is edged through the 2 infielders behind square on the offside. Moores moved over towards the leg, and Green saw it, fired it in full outside off stump, and he threw his arms at it, Moores, and got it away for 4 runs. Fortuitous, but successful. In fact, Moores leapt in the air, was dancing and jigging almost when that went through. 4 runs, 5 for 2 at the end of the 11th over. So that, there's 15 off that over, Dave.
Yeah, we saw that 2 or 3 times down at Canterbury the other night, actually, Tom Moores. The match was televised, and they were making a big a big play on it. The number of times he actually was striking the ball with both feet off the ground. Just to say that today's been a big day, and is a big day for women's cricket. Leicestershire women lost in a last ball thriller a little earlier. The Blaze back in action today. They're down at Chelmsford, their version of a crossover game. There's Rehan Ahmed round the wicket, and he's gone on a reverse here, and that must have, well, I always wonder how you sort of weigh that up. They're going to take the leg by. It was outside off stump as a left-hander, but almost before Rehan had released it, Muncie had switched round to play it as a right-hander. And if the umpire judged that he was playing it as a right-hander, it pitched outside leg. Either way, not out, leg by. I will come back to the Blaze score in a moment. Tom Moore's on strike on 10. There is Rehan, bowls to him, and he's got this away backward of point. And that'll go for 4, actually. Good effort by the fielder out there, and it just seemed, I know the ball can't increase in pace, but just managed to get away from Nick Kelly, certainly travelling at a healthy rate, and Tom Moores gets a boundary. The Blaze require 137 to win and stay top of the women's group in the Blast. 136 for 9, the Essex score. Lucy Hyam with the best figures, 3 for 24, 2 wickets for Charlie Knott and Georgia Elwis in that one. 120 for 2. Next ball is just dropped on the leg side by Tom Moores, and he will get a single. Lots of matches going on everywhere else, which will bring you up to speed with a little later on.
That's Kibworth's Lucy Hyam, Leicestershire's finest there.
Yes, indeed. Next ball round the wicket bowls, and this is just dropped on the leg side for a single by Muncie. 122 for 2 in the Test match as well. New Zealand 221 for 7. They lead England now by just over 300, 305 the lead. Let's focus on what we've got in front of us as the sun is obscured by a dark cloud, and Tom Moore's again trying to heave it away to leg, get something on it, and it's his pad again, leg by. Tom Moores only plays white ball cricket now, retired from the first class game with just 2 centuries to his name in red ball cricket. Rehan bowls, Moores, Muncie again plays it as a right-hander and will get a single. Always felt, and had this discussion with Tom many times, probably should, the number of good positions he was in, have left the first class game with probably as many as 6 or 7 first class hundreds. One certainly I think would have come on this ground in 2022. He was 87 not out, and he got a nasty one that bounced up, or he got a top edge to a ball that was bouncing up and top edged it straight into his Adam's apple. It was quite a nasty one. He had to retire hurt, but he was striking it as cleanly as as you could ever wish. And to retire hurt for 87 isn't great, really.
It's a shame.
124 for 2 after 12.
And it's going to be Alex Green to bowl from the pavilion end. And Muncie is on strike. 53 not out. He's 50. Took 30 balls, by the way. 5 fours and 3 sixes. As it is Green, comes in, bowls a full length Yorker. That's a very good Yorker, and it gets trapped in Muncie's toes a little bit. And Green picks it up. 1 for 16 from 2 overs so far from the broad Leicestershire Academy product. There's quite a few just white ball only players, isn't there, in the Notts team? Benny Howe's just on a white ball contract, isn't he? Is Ollie Stone just on? No, Ollie Stone isn't. But then you've got Amir and Ali are just on white ball contracts, aren't they?
No, Ali's played 1 first class game for Notts already.
As that's a swipe across the line and well stopped by Aston Turner, who looks a quality player always with bat ball and in the field as well.
It's Muncie, Moores, Howell and Mohammed Amir. They're just the white ball ones.
What I should have done there, Dave, was just ask you rather than just saying what I thought the white ball players for Notts were. Green turns, long run up, juts his elbows out as he thunders in. He's up to the wicket, he bowls, and that's flashed for a single out to deep cover point where it's fielded. Tom Moores will move on to 16. The score will move on to 126 for 2.
It just seems as if you've played Test cricket for Pakistan and your name's Mohammed and the second name you go by begins with A, they're not so going to snap you up. They had Mohammed Abbas last year, and then Muhammad Ali came and said, "Call me Mo, Dave," and I met Mo Amir on Friday. "Call me Mo, Dave." So
Green past the umpire, bowls, and that's a cut shot forward of square that goes to mid-off for a single. Muncie charging to the other end. He's 55 off 36. So Mo A. There's 3 Mo A's.
Yeah. Although, of course, by all means, a little later on, have whatever fun you want with the name Muhammad Ali, because we've very much enjoyed him delivering knockout blows and getting the first punch in and all that sort of stuff.
Here comes Green, penultimate ball of the over, nearly chops on Moores, but gets away with it, and in fact that's a dot ball.
Still not sure, what Notts are going to end up with here. They have a good over and then a couple of poor ones and then an outstanding over. I think a lot of it's on Muncie. If he's there at the end, then they're going to be well over 200, I'm sure, if he increases his strike rate, which is a healthy one already.
Yeah, 55 off 36. This is the final ball of the 13th over. Here comes Green. He bowls, and that's whacked down towards a mid-off region or long-off region. 1 bounce 4. That's an extraordinary shot, really. Sort of leaning over, not much foot movement. It's sort of, I wouldn't even call that a back foot punch. It was sort of arc of the blade, hit off the half volley and whacked through the covers and over long off for 4. So 1-3-1 is the score. So 7 off that over. 1-3-1 for 2.
Yeah, it was a good over up until that last ball, wasn't it? And then the extra 4. I mean, it's still only 7 from the over, but that's what you get when you bring these guys in from the Belgian Premier League.
Well, just to prove your point on what you were saying about the sort of mercurial nature of this innings, 19 off the 7th, 4 off the 8th, 6 off the 9th, 6 off the 10th, 15 off the 11th, 9 off the 12th. And then 7, so there have been these massive overs, and then they haven't really been backed up by Notts. So I'm with you. It could be anywhere from 180 to about 230. I think Notts could get here.
Once he's back on strike on 55, Liam Travaskis, former Durham player, slow left armour, hugely talented player. He's got the sunglasses on from the Bennett end, bowls. Muncie will tuck this out to deep mid wicket. They're going to run for 2. Moores is quick, and the throw comes into Tom Moore's end. Come back for 2. It's Trevor Bennett, wasn't it? The Trevor Bennett end.
Well, yeah, we had some fun the other week by the fact that there was a Bennett bowling at the Bennett end for Essex.
133 for 2. Charlie Bennett, is a fine talent. Crosses stumps goes Muncie, and without too much aggression there. That's just an orthodox sweep shot for a single away to maybe Joey Everson. Everson not been bowling?
No, not in the T20s, and we haven't seen him bowl a huge amount in the county championship either. Bowled a little bit in the Yorkshire first innings, but that's about it.
Moore's back on strike on 20. Travaskis bowls, and he's whipped it to short fine, where Alex Green does the fielding, and there's no run. 134 for 2. Be interesting to see. Presumably a wicket will go down at some point. Who not send in next? How they want to go about this. The latter portion of this innings. Travaskis bowls. Moore's deliberately just opening the face and working it carefully for 1. Square of the wicket on the offside. 135 for 2.
Surely you put your big biffer in next. Who's your big biffer?
Well, that's what I was thinking. Liam Patterson-White's off the back of a sparkling, very quick 20 odd not out at Canterbury the other night, which included a couple of big sixes. This is pulled away behind square, but both Linda and Howell have also got big shots in their armoury, and Freddie McCann is by very nature a very, very skillful top order player, but I just wonder if they might send as you described them beautifully, a biffer in. This is again just run for the second time in the over to Alex Green at short fine, so Travaskis gets out the over without too much damage. Only 5 from that one, and again you feel that's Leicestershire's over, and we've only got 6 overs left. 136 for 2, 64 from 6. That would get them 200. I wonder if Leicestershire would take that right now. Give us a good game of cricket.
Yeah, I think they probably would take it, because I think at one stage 220, 230 looked like it was possible. I don't think Leicestershire with the greatest, unless Ashton Turner has the game of his life, I don't think they're really, or Rishi Patel is capable of scoring an innings of winning a game of that magnitude. Just to bring you there's one real game going on this Sunday afternoon that will interest Leicestershire and Notts fans elsewhere in the North Group. Derbyshire against Yorkshire. Alex Green's going to bowl from the pavilion end. Derbyshire 153 for 4. So Derbyshire are 5th, but they played a game fewer than everybody else, haven't they? Yorkshire are top, level on points with Notts. So I don't know what you do. Would Leicestershire and Notts fans probably want Derbyshire to win that, I think, probably. Maybe not. As Green comes in, bowls, and that is pulled around the corner. It's going to be fielded by deep backward square leg. Muncie on to 60.
Yeah, Yorkshire have gone the other way from what Notts have done. They started with 4 wins and have had 3 defeats to follow. Notts started with 3 defeats and have had 4 wins to follow. So there's more than one way to skin a cat, as they say.
BBC Radio Leicester, BBC Radio Nottingham, Adam Whitting, Dave Bracegirdle, and the gloriously sunny skies here.
Yes.
At Grace Road for this T20 local derby as Green is in past the umpire. He bowls and there's a dot ball because Moores tries to send that back home to Nottinghamshire. Now had he connected, I think he would have got quite a long way behind us, north, but he missed it, and so it's a dot ball. So we've had 2 dot balls to start the over, have we, I think, from Green?
Yep. Next weekend, Notts again Friday, Sunday. Friday night they're at home to Lancashire, who got the win here a couple of days ago, so that's going to be a challenge for them.
As Green comes in, and there's a big whack down the ground. Turner's there, takes it. That was hit hard by Moores, and Turner, who's probably the best man in the field for Leicestershire, was there to take it in at around hip height, and that would have stung the palms, I'm sure. But Ashton Turner's a very experienced T20 player. He gets the wicket. It's the 3rd one for Notts. They're 137 for 3. And dare I say it, if I was a Notts supporter listening to this, Dave, I'm beginning to just think, are we slowing down? Are we getting somewhat strangled here a little bit?
I'm sure they're absolutely agreeing with you there. And again, we've got the strange sight of the wicket going down and Tom Moore's heading off to the far end of the ground where Notts are changing, and the dugout where all the rest of them are is at this end, and that's where George Linder has been pushed onto the field from. South African all-rounder, another left-hander. As I say, there's 6 in this not starting 11. So Freddie McCann getting shoved a little bit further down the order. Linder missed the first match in the competitions, and he scored 88 runs at 22 apiece, best of 29 not out. Let's see his slow left arm spin a little later on.
Proper gun for hire though, isn't he? Which is what you need in this T20 format. Leicestershire benefited up from that with having Ashton Turner. Here's Green. 3 balls left in the over. Comes in, and Linder is going to get at least 2 first up, I think. Is he short? No, they're not going to come back for the second. It's well fielded out there by... can't quite see who that is on the far side of the field there. Either way, it's just a single, so Linder is off the mark. 138 for 3. This the 15th over now.
Mentioned both sides playing in green. All the wickets taken by Green so far, 2 for Alex.
That's true.
And 1 for Ben.
And the pitch is tanned. Here comes Green. Broad-shouldered. Bowling right arm over the wicket. And Muncie, the left-hander, just sort of bunts that for a single to mid-wicket.
I mentioned Notts Friday are at Trent Bridge against Lancashire, then a week today away at Durham, and then on the following Friday it's the return of this match. Notts Outlaws, Leicestershire Foxes at Trent Bridge, and then for Notts it all finishes with a trip to Headingley on Sunday the 12th, 2 weeks today.
Green moving away from us up to the wicket, bowls a slow delivery, uppercut, it's in the air, but it's going to be left alone in the end by Ben Mike down there. He must have thought he couldn't have got to that and it was too much of a risk. It would have gone for a boundary otherwise. So end of the over, it was just one there, wasn't there, Linda?
Yeah.
So 140 for 3 is the score. So just 4 off the over in the end, and Leicestershire will feel like they are just halting what seemed like an irrepressible charge at one point. There has been just 16 runs off the last 3 overs, 15 gone, 140 for 3. I'll just tell you Leicestershire's last few fixtures they've only got 1 game next week on Sunday against Yorkshire, and then 3 on the final week. They're on TV on the Wednesday night against Durham here, and then 2 local derbies to finish. Yeah, Notts on the Friday night and then Derby on the Sunday.
Going to be Rian Ahmed back into the attack. This will be his final over. He's bowled 3 overs for 32 so far. He'll be bowling to Linda. Alex Green then has become the first bowler to bowl out. There's Rian Ahmed. Starts a new over. Linda can't get it away. Alex Green 4 overs, 2 for 27. So he's been the most effective wicket taker and the most economical as well. 140 for 3, Rian Ahmed. And the reverse from Linda, and he's missed the ball, hits the pad, and there's an LBW shout. Actually, Ben Mike's 3 overs, none for 19, one of which was a maiden, so he's been fairly economical so far. Adam Witt is pointing to some breaking news from the world of cricket, and as he spotted it before I did, I'll let him tell you. The single is taken, 141 for 3.
Ben Stokes has retired in the middle of the day's play. It was announced during one of his spells at Trent Bridge. Took a wicket just afterwards. Apparently, he's going to retire after this game.
141 for 3. Rian Ahmed bowls, and this is a little push and run by Munsey into the offside. 142 for 3. Munsey up to 62. I'm sure there'll be more on that to come, and I know you've not got time to read it because you're watching. Retired from the England captaincy, retired from England, retired from
international cricket.
International cricket. Round the wicket comes Rian Ahmed, and this is played up to mid-on. And there's a single taken, 143 for 3. Week today, not so at Durham. Just throw that out there. And also, I would point out, a week today, not so at Durham. Ben Duckett isn't in the England T20 squad for the forthcoming fixtures in international T20 cricket against India. This is pushed into the offside. Try and find out a little later. If not, so are expecting to have Ben back for the remaining games. End of the over. Another good one for the home side. 144 for 3. Rian Ahmed, just whilst we were giving you that breaking news, rattling through that over. Only 4 singles. And it does mean there's only 4 overs left here. And the 180 that you were saying would be the very least of Nott's capabilities might at the moment be, that might even be a bit of a stretch, especially if they lose Munsey, who's on 63 from 43. Good stuff this from Leicestershire.
So they were 84 for 1 off 7 and are now 144 for 3 off 16. So try and do the maths in a second. Ben Green bowls outside the off stump, that full Yorker that's very difficult to hit. So that would be 60 runs in 8 overs for the loss of 2 wickets. They've really cut short. I thought 180 was the bare minimum. Yeah. I'll be honest, in my head I was being generous to Leicestershire by saying 180. Here comes Green again, bowls a full toss, that's hit high up in the air, it's going to land just short of the fielder running in from long off, which is Ben Mike, and it's just going to be a single to Munsey. I fear that Munsey really needs to
he seems to have lost his form, Adam. There was a moment where seemingly playing conventionally or switch hitting, most things seem to be heading towards the rope or over the rope, but he just seems to have lost his timing a little bit.
As Green runs in, Ben Green, and that's flashed down the ground from Linda, and that's going to go to Ben Mike. I was trying to think of a delicate way to say do your business or get off the pot, really, if you see what I mean. Now you've got to sort of smack. He has to smack now. He's 64 not out, and he's at risk of using up a bunch of balls while being in. It is Munsey who waits now. He'll hit this for 6, I bet. No, he drives it down the ground for just a single. But you're right, it is as if all the pace has drained away from his innings.
Very good this from Ben Green actually in this over, bowling to his field, and sort of low straight full tosses. It's only giving him a scoring area in the V really.
As Green bowls full, that's hit high up in the air, but that looks like it's gone high rather than far. Turner is underneath it. Oh no, it's gone over his head. Over his head for 6. Only just though. Turner was trying to think about doing something extraordinary for a second, then drag it in, do one of those remarkable T20 catches, but it was over his head. So there's an all-important 6 there for Linda. That was like we talked about golf swings, didn't we? That was like a sand wedge. He chipped it, dug it right out, and just about got the distance. 1-5-3 for 3. Green in, another full toss, and an inside edge that dribbles out into the leg side from the left-hander and is fielded there by Sam Wood, and there's a single added to the total. 1-5-4 for 3. 10 off the over.
Yeah, it should say anybody listening to BBC Radio Nottingham on Friday night would have heard me describing what I thought was a sensational athletic boundary catch, the like of which Adam was just referring to, immediately down below our commentary position. Couldn't believe it when it went to the third umpire and they were looking and looking and looking as Ollie Stone had caught it, flipped it back inside. George Linder had supported him, took the catch, and they'd said that Stone had touched the boundary rope and just couldn't see it looking out of our window, right down on it. 154 for 3 as Travaskis starts a new over, and Linda's got hold of this one, and that's gone into the car park, I think. That's gone over the tent. Where's my car? It's in that general area for a big 6. Just gives me a moment just to finish. But we didn't have a monitor. We couldn't see any replays or whatever. We'd only seen it with looking out the window and seeing whatever. But I couldn't see any way that he'd been in contact. But it was his other foot somehow. Normally there's one that you want to keep inside the boundary, and it was the other one that had sort of slipped onto the cushion. So it's good work by the umpires, and I apologise. Ball has been retrieved from the car park, and the next one is just nudged rather more gently by Linda for a single. 161 for 3. It was Sam Billings, and could have done with getting him out then.
Got 60 odd, didn't he?
He did. This was on 37. Munsey's on 65 here. Travaskis round the wicket. Munsey playing it as a right-hander has mistimed that one again. Gets a single. One more. Result for Leicestershire, really. Result for Charlie Fox and his mates if George Munsey's only getting singles at this stage of the innings. 2 overs to go after this one. 162 for 3. Next ball, here comes Linda, and he's just spooned this up on the offside. Oh, it's out of reach of Sam Wood. Thought that was going to just lend into or lean into his big bucket hands there as he was moving to his left, but couldn't quite. 2 runs instead. 164 for 3. What have we got left? 2 balls left in the 18th. Linda away onto the leg side, out into the deep, and decent attempt to drag it back, but the ball has got away from Ben Mike, and it's gone for 4 more. And if they sort of put names in a hat and decided who was going to come in at number 6, they'll be very pleased that they pulled out George Linder rather than Benny Howell or Freddie McCann at this moment, because he's on 25 from 13. And he's hit this one, and that's going to be 6 more, I think. Fielder's underneath it, though, right by the rope, and it's gone for 6. Again, it was a really good attempt on the fence at deep mid-wicket. And that's a big hit, you know, Adam.
Huge.
Back-to-back 6s, and that's given Notts just that little bit of biff and impetus they needed. And at the end of the 18th, 174 for 3, and there is the big over that they've been lacking for the last half an hour or so. 20 from it, 174 for 3.
0-41 from 3 overs for Travaskis, and just like that, Dave, we were saying 180 might be difficult, and just like that, it is now going to be flown past, I suspect, with 2 overs to go. And Linda has played exactly the innings that Notts needed him to. Leicestershire did well to get themselves back in the game, but that is what they needed, wasn't it? They just needed a big some big biceps to lean into it and smash it all over the place. I just need to see what Muncie does now. I wonder whether he just might play the anchor innings. So, anchor has been mentioned more times in this innings as Green comes in, bowls, flash down the ground for a single. I wonder whether he might do that. He might just try and get off strike, let Linda do the rest, really. 31 of 14, the big South African.
This is his highest score for Notts as well. So Joe Clark with his highest score of the last season, George Linder with his highest score of the last season, Muncie with his 4th 50 for Notts.
Bends his legs and waits and hits this high in the air. That's a huge 6. What a massive hit from Linda. That has gone about 10 rows back in the stand down to our left hand side, and Linda has now hit 3 6s in a row, and he is putting Leicestershire to the sword. They are well past 180 now, and he did really well just to lean back a little bit, dig that out. It was a Yorker length and whack it down the ground. He cleared quite a few metres there. Soccer, a man at the driving range at the moment. 37 off 15 for Linda. Green runs in from the pavilion end away from us. He comes in, bowls, and that's hit out into the leg side. It's brilliantly well timed. It's gone for 4. Pulled around the corner, and Linda moves into the 40s off 16 deliveries. 185 for 3. 200 now, well on the cards for Notts as they race towards a big total. And this is a mighty knock from Linda.
Yeah, he's got 41 out of 48. Let me have a look.
Of the partnership?
41 out of 48, I think.
Green, what's his response going to be? Ball it wide outside off stump. It's edged, and that's going to run away for 4. That one fortuitous for Linda, but he threw his arms at it. 3rd man is up, and it has zoomed to the boundary rope. And so 14 off the last 3 balls. We've had 15 off the over.
He's got 45 out of the 50 partnership. All right, the partnership is actually 53, but he's got 45 out of 52. 45 out of 52 they've put on. 45 from 17 balls here, Linda.
Can he get it with one big blow? The half century. And 189 for 3 is the score. Run rate now back over 10. Here comes Green. Linda edges this. There's a fielder out there at 3rd man, and it's Rahan Ahmed. They're going to come back for the second. The throw comes into the non-striker's end, and there's 2 more. 191 for 3. 16 balls was the fastest. Was the fastest Notts T20 50. So it wouldn't have broken any records, but it would be one of the fastest. Alex Hales and Dan Christian got 16 ball 50s. That's Green is in, bowls, and that's heaved by Linda, and that is going to go for 4 over deep extra cover, and that is a superb 50 for Linda. 19 balls, and that has done an incredible job for the Outlaws. He has pushed Notts from a position where it looked like they might get an under par score to one where they will surely break the 200 barrier. That was a big over for Notts. They have powered towards a big score, all thanks to that brilliant 50 from Linda. 19 balls, how many 6? That would have been 4 4s, 4 6s in that. And it's 195 for 3. 19 off the over.
I don't think it's going to be Notts' highest score here. 2014 they scored 220 for 4. A couple of names you've mentioned there. Ricky Vessel's got 60 odd. Samit Patel 60 odd. That was the match that Greg Smith came back with 100 for the Foxes, and of course he signed for Notts a year later.
It's the 5th fastest T20 50 that for Notts. So presumably the fastest against... Oh no, Dan Christian was against Leicestershire. So the 2nd fastest against Leicestershire, but the 5th fastest of all time for Notts in T20 cricket.
195 for 3. Muncie on 67. Following his unbeaten 82 on Friday night. It's been a good weekend for the Scottish international. Last over to be bowled by Ben Mike, and this is tucked behind square. Everson doing the fielding, and they get a single. 196 for 3. So that brings Linda back onto strike. Last wicket went down on 137. So Linda 51 out of 69 they've added.
I'm going to go 206 here is my prediction, between 206 and 210.
There's Mike. Long straight approach, and Linda just playing a little scoop shot and trying to play a delicate scoop shot over the keeper Ben Cox for runs, and it just strikes him on the pad and they get a leg by. When you can hit the ball as cleanly and as far as he can strike it, why are you trying little dinks over the keeper in the final over? I'm not sure. 197 for 3. Munsey back on strike on 68. 4 balls left in the innings. Notts need 3 for the 200. They're going to get, or they might even get the 4 here. He's threaded it through a gap on the offside. The offside field had been brought up all inside the ring, just presuming that Munsey would try and concentrate his attention to the leg side, and he's hit it the other way, and Notts get 200 with 3 balls left. 201 for 3. And Munsey goes to 72. Having a really fruitful blast competition. George Munsey was averaging 66.6 in this season's competition, and clearly that's not going to go down now. He's 72 not out. Mike, who began with a maiden, getting a little bit of punishment in this final over. As it comes in, past umpire Pollard. Bowls now down the leg side and hit away crisply, but on the bounce down here to Alex Green, and they'll only get a single. 203 for 3. Munsey to 73. Linda back on strike on 51. We've got 3 balls left.
It's a great comeback from Notts. You're worried they were just subsiding, but I suppose the positive was they kept the wickets in hand, didn't they? That's probably the key to it. Meant that Linda was basically just given a free hand to go and smack it about.
Mike once more to the crouching Linda, in fact, who backs away and is fortunate there. Had this been a county championship field, which of course it isn't, it'd have been caught at second slip, because that's where the edge went. It was a genuine edge. It was opening the face, I think, trying to cut it away square. Plenty of power on it, but it flew at catchable height through where the slip cordon would have been normally, and raced away for 4 more. And so often happens when somebody's really striking it cleanly. Any fortune that's going tends to follow them around as well. And Linda now up to 55. 207 for 3. We've still got 2 balls left. This over's taking almost an eternity to complete. Ball being fetched from all parts at the moment. Tries again, does Ben Mike, to the South African, and he's just nudged it. The bowler will fill of his own bowling, and then a brilliant bit of work by Ben Mike, and he's run George Linda out with a super bit of work. An underarm back flick towards the stumps at the bowler's end where Linda was running, and George Linda has to go run out for a very, very impressive 55 from just 22 balls, 5 4s and 4 6s, and with 1 ball left in the innings he's been run out. And Notts a 207 for 4.
Well, it's a brilliant piece of fielding. I watched the replay and at first thought that Linda just seemed to sort of jog his way to the other end. I think it was being a little bit harsh, but he did seem to slow up towards the end. But Mike, with a brilliant turn and throw, dismissed him and has earned himself a dot ball from that. But I think Linda possibly... He started off sprinting and then stopped.
It's a bit frustrating for Benny Howell, because he's come in, he's 1 ball left in the innings, and of course he's at the non-striker's end because Munsey was running down here, and this is picked up into the leg side. I think it's going to fall short of Travaskis, and they're going to come back for 2, and Travaskis elects, in fact he couldn't take the ball on the bounce, and by then they were back for 2, and that will be that. Yes, that's the 6. 209 for 4. Notts Outlaws have posted. George Munsey finishes 75 not out from 52 balls. The Scottish international, it's 6 4s and 3 6s, and once again he's finished as the Outlaws top scorer. 209 for 4. That's going to be very, very challenging score you fancy for the Foxes to chase down. 2 wickets for Alex Green, 4 overs, 2 for 27 for him. Ben Green, 4 overs, 1 for 29. The other wicket was a run out. Ben Mike, 4 overs, none for 32. Wood only had the 1 over, Sam Wood. 1 over did go for 19. Liam Travaskis, 3 overs for 41. Rian Ahmed, 4 overs for 36. It was a strange old innings to follow. Notts did pick it up in the last couple of overs once Linder had found his timing. Before then, George Munsey frozen out of it again in the power play overs, whilst Joe Clark had his little bit of fun. He made fairly dynamic 42 from 22 at the top of the innings. Once he'd gone, as I say, there was a little bit of a dip, and Jack Haynes lost his wicket again. Munsey and Moores got it going, and then that destructive ball striking from Linder has got them up to top side of 200. Adam.
Third highest total for Notts at Grace Road, and I think this is the killer stat, Dave. 55 runs in the last 4 overs, which took an innings that looked like it was slowing and faltering to one where it is an imposing and intimidating total from Notts. I think they'll be favourites to win that, and it's whether Leicestershire have the batting depth and quality to be able to back that up. Ashton Turner and Rehan Ahmed and Rishi Patel certainly capable of that, as is Nick Kelly, but someone's going to have a very special day. I think that George Linder innings was very good indeed. So Leicestershire need 210 to win, and if you're listening to us on the Leicestershire stream, we'll be back with you very shortly indeed for that chase. But Owen Palmer-Atkin, 210 the target to win here in the sunny skies at Grace Road. Yeah, 144 for 3 at the end of the 16th over, Owen. And at that point, what Dave turned and went, 180 seemed like a very big total at that point. And I think we all sort of thought when I was saying 220, 230 that I was being incredibly over ambitious and was going to look a little bit silly. I just look a tiny bit silly because the way that Linder came in and batted was superb. It was just what Notts needed. They needed someone to just come and throw their arms at everything, and that's exactly what he did. Incredibly fast 50 for Notts. And an incredibly impressive knock. But I'm not even sure Leicestershire did anything that bad, really. I wasn't watching it thinking that they were bowling poorly. You had that Ben Green over where he was sort of seemed like he was bowling to his field, but was still getting whacked all over the place. I think you probably have to doff your cap to decent batting there. Leicestershire got themselves in a decent position, but then some top quality gun batting took Notts to a very big total.
Yeah, I mentioned a couple of times they're just starting to play with a little bit of freedom and momentum. They've brought players in.
Thank you, Owen. So 210 at the target. The required run rate at 10.5. And the main issue for Leicestershire is, and you said this, Dave, you said that Notts have been able to bring some of their quality players back in. Leicestershire are missing a bunch of their quality players. They're missing the likes of Eskenazi and Budinger, who could have been really destructive in this format. As it is, they will look to their two openers, Rishi Patel and Rahan Ahmed, as well as Ashton Turner and Nick Kelly, to get them home. One, if not two of them, are going to have a very good day. And for Notts, Dave, it is about a very good established international bowling lineup, isn't it?
Looks like there's a slight hold up here. I think they're asking for the ground staff to come and do something. Can I just give some information or let all the cricket listeners become aware of some information that's just been released? Test match England-New Zealand going on. It's day 4 today. We don't know how much cricket's going to be left tomorrow. Probably a full day of cricket. Free tickets have been made available by Trent Bridge for tomorrow. Free tickets. I'll tell you more on that in a moment.
And it's going to be Mohammad Amir, the Pakistan international, to run in towards us and get us underway. And it's a flashing drive first up from Patel, which finds the cover point fielder. There is no run. It was Benny Howell there.
You can claim up to 4 free tickets per person, now on sale. Tickets.trentbridge.co.uk. If you fancy, if you've got no other plans tomorrow, you've not got to go to work or school or college or anything else, you want to go along to the cricket.
I actually don't, Dave.
Free tickets available. Tickets.trentbridge.co.uk. Get on it.
Left arm over the wicket, Amir, and Patel plays a very pleasant on drive off his toes to get Leicestershire's chase underway. 209 to win. I actually don't have anything to do tomorrow. That sounds like quite. If I can get some tickets after the game's finished, Dave, I probably won't be able to. Will I?
Say it's, yes. I would have thought there'd be enough for everybody who wants to go to the 5th day. We don't know how much cricket's going to be available, do we, yet? As
Amir is in, bowls hard into the pitch, and it is glanced off the hips by Rahan Ahmed, and he is underway. So both the batters on 208 to win.
So this is Mohammad Amir. You'll be well aware of his past, no doubt. Young protege till it all went sadly wrong for him back in 2010. He's played a little bit of county cricket here, there and everywhere over the years.
Very fast bowler, and he bowls. He possibly took the pace off that a bit, didn't he, Dave? I think because Patel was through the stroke before the time it got to him, and it's played back to him.
He's married to an English lady, and he has been applying for English citizenship, I understand, for quite some time. It came through in May, so eligible to play now 4 counties as a non-overseas, if you like, and lots have got his services.
Past the umpire now, Amir bowls. He's bowled! Patel! His off stump is rocked back, and a curious celebration from Mohammad Amir, but he has dismissed Rishi Patel with a beauty, and Leicestershire have lost an early wicket in this high chase, and Mohammad Amir bowling at express pace. Got it to jag back in, didn't it? Hit his pad and then on to the off stump. The first wicket falls for Leicestershire. They are 2 for 1. They need 208 to win.
Yeah, striking in his first over as he did at Canterbury on Friday evening. On debut, he got Harry Finch LBW with just his second ball that he bowled for Notts. And it really is a nice little knack to have if you can get rid of one of the openers in your first spell or your first over in T20 cricket. The more wickets you get in the power play, the stats tell you, the more chance you've got of winning. Here's Nick Kelly. Don't know as I've seen him in person before. I did see the other evening, Friday evening, did he get 48 from 48?
44, like I think.
Something of that ilk.
44,
anyway.
49 or 44. It's difficult for him. He didn't quite get going. He's not the bloke that you want to rely on to smack the ball around.
Are we going to get another reference to the word anchor in this match?
I think you are, actually. I think he is. He is the guy who you want at the other end to build a 30 or 40, while you, i.e. Rahan Ahmed in this case, gives it a biff. Here is Amir to bowl, and Kelly defends the first ball to cover, and that is the end of a very successful over for the Notts Outlaws. 2 for 1 Leicestershire are in pursuit of 210. They need 208 to win to the Foxes, and they've got to do it at 11 and over already. He's had a few. I mean, he's the top scorer, Nick Kelly, 242 runs in 7 innings. But a strike rate of 122. That tells you it really. You want him 40 not out, while Ashton Turner is 90 not out at the other end. That's how it will work. He played brilliantly, a fantastic knock in the county championship match against Yorkshire, where he basically played it as a one-day knock. But big job for these two on now.
It's going to be Ollie Stone to bowl the second over from our end of the ground. Bowls now to Rian Ahmed, right-hander, and he's tried to knock the skin off that ball, and he's just succeeded in hitting it on the bounce to George Linder at mid-on. That test match then, at the moment, New Zealand still batting their 241 for 8, lead England by 325, so it might be set up for a thrilling Bazball run chase tomorrow as Ben Stokes announces his retirement. Stone in, bowls to Rian Ahmed, and he's going to get at least one down to third, and they both turned as if they would be interested in perhaps challenging the throw, but decided against it. 3 for 1. The other match in the North Group, Derbyshire Falcons made 215 for 9. Yorkshire just about to start their reply. And of course Durham are playing today, one of those crossover matches. Durham made 218 for 6. They're away at Middlesex. Sure where that one is. That Radlett. It's Richmond. There we are. 3 for 1. Stone into the left-handed Nick Kelly, Melbourne-born New Zealand international. Just hurried into his defensive push a little bit there by Stone. Drops it on the leg side, and there's no run.
It's not the flying start Foxes fans probably needed this. 9 balls, just 3 runs so far.
But remember, not started with a maiden, so Leicestershire technically are still ahead. Well, they were at the end of the first. Stone in again to Kelly. Comes down the track and he's bowled. Might just have got a graze on it onto the stumps, but a very adventurous attacking looking shot. And for the second time in 9 balls, the stumps are disturbed. And it's Kelly who goes. Didn't make an impact today. Just having a little look what we can see on the monitor here, and he's inside edged it back onto the stumps. He was a good 1.5 yards down the track, trying to vigorously swing it away to leg, and only got just a little bit of a graze on the ball, dragged it back onto his stumps, and the Foxes in real trouble at 3 for 2.
Yeah, very poor start for the Foxes. And what did I say to Owen during the interval, Dave? I said Leicestershire don't want to be in a position where they are 20 for 3 by the time Ashton Turner comes in. Now, Ben Cox has come out to the wicket at number 4, but at 3 for 2, I do fear he is going to be coming in at 20 for 3. It's funny, just Notts look, their pace bowlers just look quicker. They look more accurate. They look like they're troubling the bowlers more. And actually, it looks like pace is the way to go on this wicket by the looks of things.
Well, Notts will mix it up. They have got the spin of Patterson, White and Linder. They've got Howell, who bowls more slower balls than he does quick balls. But certainly Amir and Stone push it through, and they've both got a wicket in their first overs. We've had 10 balls, actually. 2 balls left in this over. And it's Ben Cox, former blast winner with Worcestershire back in 2018, on strike, and he pushes Stone up to mid-off, and there's no run. To his former teammate, actually, Joe Clark, doing the fielding. They were in that Worcestershire side that won the blast in 2018. 3 for 2. Notts posted 209 for 4. Looking to make it 5 wins in a row, Notts. As the trumpeter gives the rallying call. It's slightly leg side. It's been tickled away and it's gone very, very quickly. And the first boundary of the innings comes to Ben Cox to end the second over with 7 on the board. A welcome boundary for the Foxes. 7 for 2.
Where is Notts 10 for no loss?
It's the at the King Power. It's the old hunting horn that's blown.
The fox
isn't it?
hunting horn. Yeah, they do the post horn gallop.
That's it, rather than the trumpet.
Which starts off our programming on Radio Leicester. Well, for Leicester City games it does anyway. Radio Nottingham have got an iconic start to the sports show, haven't they? Mohammed Amir comes in, bowls, and that is whacked away through the cover to 4. I think it's a long boundary out there on the offside to the right-hander. That's a glorious stroke from Rahan Ahmed. He flamingos his shots on the offside, lifts 1 foot into the air, and he drove that beautifully with an arc of the blade, and that has raced away. So 11-4-2 is the score in pursuit of 210. Bats with an open stance as Amir is going to run in towards us from the Bennett end. A quick skiddy bowler bangs this into the pitch and it beats Ahmed for pace, that does, and he didn't see the bouncer coming. And there is no run. Is it with Radio Nottingham? There's like two notes, isn't there, at the start? It's like a sports report style opener. That's
a little bit,
famous.
yes, and then there's some 1 or 2 forest highlights and Notts and Mansfield Town and a bit of Carl Froch and a bit of cricket.
As in comes Amir, and that's dabbed down by Ahmed, trying to play that late. He gets a single to, it's well fielded, diving to the right hand side. Liam Patterson White it is, and they get a single. Now I've heard it on a couple of European nights, and I've listened to. I shouldn't admit to that, should I? No, of course I should. Radio Nottingham's coverage, it is excellent. 12-2.
Yes, they've had some trips this year. David Jackson, Colin Frey and the team.
I think our football trips are over, Dave, for a few reasons. Here comes Amir in, bowls and drives, and there is short cover to stop it, not least the fact that Leicester City are in League One.
Mansfield Town this year, you get to Mansfield, you get to Notts County as well, a couple of glamorous trips.
The first day of the season is at Meadow Lane, and last day of the season is at Field Mill.
Yep.
So there you go. Still might get some European trips for Leicester Tigers. That's where the fun comes in. Nice little trips to Bordeaux or Toulouse, Dave. Sample some of their finest produce. These two places share the finest produce. In comes Amir and drives at that. It is fielded and there's a shy at the stumps. They get through for the single. That was a very risky single, that. Benny Howe launching at the stumps. He'd 1 to aim for, but that was a cheeky single, that. And they've got through 12-2.
It's a bit casual, wasn't it, really? A little bit casual. Cox pushed it and called him, and they all thought it was a fairly straightforward single, but Benny Owl had other ideas. Certainly made them hurry up, and been very interesting had he hit.
Amir, left arm over the wicket to the right-handed Rahan Ahmed. He flashes at this and he's got 4 runs for it. It's a big whack over Cow corner, right across the line, but he connected quite flat over towards the Hobbit houses, and it is 4 more. 17-2. And Ahmed is into double figures. Ahmed is capable. I would say, what is Ahmed's biggest T20 score? It won't be massive.
Today's the day.
52 not out. 52 not out. He will have got to 50 a few times, and certainly high 40s. But he has just not quite gone on in the way that he has in the county championship. He has gone on from big scores there. You're right, David, he is going to need to today.
There's Muhammad Ali, Notts leading wicket taker in this season's blast with 14. Young Sales of Northants, the leading wicket taker with 17. Ali right up there, and first ball full of length just outside the off stump and mistimed by Cox. Back to the bowler, 33 years of age, like Mohammed Amir. He was born in the Punjab. They've never played on the same side together up until Friday evening, although they have both assured me played against each other more times than either of them care to guess at. So they've been rivals back in Pakistan, and 1 or 2 overseas franchises as well, they tell me. Known each other for years. This is pushed back by Cox again to the bowler. There's 14 wickets, have come at an average of 16 so far, an economy rate of just over 8, so he's having a very good season. His best figure's 3 for 25, and before being brought across to play for Notts in this season's competition, he'd never visited England before. So
he's got a nice fluid action, isn't he?
Yeah.
Sort of shorter, stockier type, whereas Amir is the sort of fastier and bouncier.
He comes again. Right arm fast bowls and into the body of the advancing Cox. He'll just drop on the leg side for leg bite. One more to the tally. Had a reputation. We'd heard all about this fearsome Yorker that he possesses, and in the first over that he bowled for Notts, the very first match, he sent a stump cartwheeling with a ferocious Yorker against Yorkshire. We've not seen that much of it, but he has still managed to pick up good wickets every game he's played. He's bowling now to Rian Ahmed, who's on 11, made a decent start here. Ahmed backs away just to push it into the offside. Again comes Benny Howell, and again he'll shy at the stumps, and again he'll narrowly miss. And Ollie Stone backing up just takes all the pace off the ball and deflects it to Liam Patterson-Wide, who actually picks it up. Another single taken, 19 for 2. This is what scoreboard pressure does, of course. You've got no time to sort of deliberate and just ask your partner what he thinks about a close single. You've just got to push and run, haven't you? We need over 200, so we've got to go. Twice there, Benny Howell has come very close to hitting the stumps. Ali, 2 balls left in the 4th over. Bowls now to Cox, gets into position to scoop it up in the air, and he has scooped it up in the air straight into the hands of Amir, and he's got to go. And Notts have got a 3rd wicket inside the power play, indeed inside 4 overs, and Leicestershire really in need of a partnership now. Have lost Ben Cox for 5 to add to the already dismissed wickets of Rishi Patel for 1 and Nick Kelly without scoring.
Well, I repeat what I said, Dave, to Owen and then to you. I don't think it's a good thing if Ashton Turner is coming in at 20 for 3. He's coming in at 19 for 3. These are Leicestershire's 2 best players. Certainly in this format, they are the most destructive players. The problem is that they're both going to have to be on about 80 for Leicestershire to win this game. They have given themselves no room for error within the power play already. The run rate is already required at 12 and over pretty much. And they are in stacks of trouble. And as we said earlier, they've lost 4 of their 7 games. They lose a 5th. I think they probably have to go and win all of their remaining 4 after this. So they're hanging by their fingernails a little bit.
New man then, Ashton Turner, former Australian international, Perth scorcher, back home. First ball, he's nicked it behind. 2 in 2, 19 for 4. Turner's got a golden duck here against Notts. It's the last ball of the over, and it does mean that Muhammad Ali will be on a hat-trick. A nick behind, comfortable catch for Tom Moores. And this one might already be a long way towards being over. 19 for 4. Ashton Turner caught Moores, bowled Muhammad Ali for naught.
And that is a big haymaker from Muhammad Ali. There you go. I think that...
Not quite the knockout punch.
But it feels pretty much as close to one with Turner going first ball. Joey Everson's going to have to play the innings of his life. They've lost all their big hitters, bar Rahan Ahmed now, and 19 for 4 off 4 overs. It's going to have to be a miracle for them to come back from this, sadly, because they've got quite a long tail.
Same stage, Notts had 43 on the board. 43 for 1, plays 19 for 4.
Ollie Stone is going to bowl from the Bennett end, his second over, and Ali tries to whack that, and he's going to get 4 for it. It's a good shot, inside to out. It was a full delivery, Stone wide on the crease, coming back into him, and Ahmed finding with a very wristy flick, getting that down the ground on the half volley. That's a lovely shot. So 23-4-4.
I didn't get chance just to express a little bit of sympathy for the scoreboard operator, because his screen was pretty much full from the 5th ball. It said Ben Cox caught Mohammed Amir, bowled Mohammed Ali, and he'd run out of space.
In comes Stone, and that is a superb stroke. Little bit shorter of a length from Stone, and Ahmed made room for himself and heaved it through extra cover for 4 runs. That is a sublime shot, and that's back-to-back 4s for Ahmed, who looks in the groove today.
Stone has had a little bit of damage this season. One of those first 3 games where Notts were really off it. He did actually go for 32 in 1 over at Derby, and Aaron Donald 4 6s and 2 4s.
Well, he's gone for 8 so far off 2 deliveries. 27 for 4. Stone is in. Ahmed goes for the same again, but this time drives it at mid-off, so there is no run. He's going at 11 and over from the 18 overs he's bowled. I remember seeing that 32 off and over. Donald's an extraordinary player.
Yeah, you want to get him early.
I'm surprised I haven't seen him link more with England, you know. He's that sort of kind of... He's consistent enough.
Welsh.
Stone running in towards us. Ahmed waits, and he bowls, and Ahmed picks this up. 6 runs over deep backward square leg, and that crunches into the fencing that goes round the ground alongside the Milligan Road and bounces back out again. That was a monster hit from Rahan Ahmed, who has hit 14 off 4 balls in this over, and is playing at his very best at the moment. He's single-handedly keeping Leicestershire breathing.
Now, I agree with you actually with Aaron Donald. Before we move on, I think he's certainly worthy of a white ball look. T20 or the 50 over stuff. It's hit a long way.
Ahmed 26 not out, bowls, and that's hit high up in the air. There's a fielder chasing. It's going to land just in front of him, and in fact bounces dodgily, and so I thought they might come through for a 2, but they don't take on the arm. And Ahmed gets a single. 34 for 4, so we've had 15 off the over already.
Just to say that the Blaze are well on their way. They're 99 for 1 after 13. They're only chasing 137 to beat Essex Women. Tammy Beaumont out, but Marie Kelly 41, Charlie Knott 31. It's in the women's competition earlier. Leicestershire lost to Glamorgan here. We watched that one, didn't we?
Stone comes in, bowls, appeal for leg before wicket on Everson, but given not out. I have to watch that again. It may have been going down the leg side. Yes, we did. Glamorgan beat Leicestershire by 2 runs in an extraordinary game, really. Leicestershire were going along at walking pace for most of it. Going down the leg side. We can see the replay there. They needed 20 off the last over, and it's 17. Having gone about 4 and over for the whole thing. That is the end of the 5th over. We've had a lot happening. 34 for 4. There was 15 off it. Rahan Ahmed will face the strike. Leicestershire need 176 to win off 15 overs.
So this is a hat-trick ball, remember. Rian Ahmed on strike. Mohammed Ali comes in to bowl to Rian Ahmed, slams it through the offside, and away for 4. And had there been a fielder there, it would have been one of those, just how much do you value your finger ends, because that couldn't have been hit any harder by Rian Ahmed. Managed to thread it through a gap between George Munsey and Joe Clark on the offside. Found his spot nicely, gets 4 runs.
One leg in the air again to make room for himself, and so I think he's just trying to leverage his body as much as he can to get as much purchase on the shots.
This could be interesting. Rian Ahmed 31 from 14, trying to take Mohammed Ali down. Here comes Ali, bowls, and he's hit this one over the offside for 6. And it is fun indeed watching Rian Ahmed in this sort of mood. Lovely shot. Mohammed Ali's maybe just saying, who's this fella? You know Farhan came on the bus with us? It's his brother.
Well, would he have been in that team where Ahmed got 5 wickets? That's a question for us.
44 for 4. Rian on to 37. Joe Clark just had a little word there with his bowler. Great start this to the 6th over for Leicestershire Foxes. There's Muhammad Ali accelerating up to the crease, bowls, and then a slower ball, deliberately took the pace off it. And Rian Ahmed, you'd say, read it superbly, just opens the face, runs it away for a single, and moves on to 38. That brings former outlaw Joey Everson on to strike. Everson in at 6 for the Foxes. Still to come, Ben Green, Liam Travaskis, Ben Mike, Sam Wood and Alex Green.
The answer to that question was no, he wasn't in that test match team when Rehan Ahmed got a 5 on debut. But it was against Pakistan. Was that in Lahore? I think it was, wasn't it? Karachi.
There's Ali into Joey Everson. And, just struck the pad, which prevented it being called as a leg side wide, and it just took all the sting out of it. Trickles its way through to Tom Morse. In this innings, Patel out bowled Amir for 1. That was 2 for 1. And it was 3 for 2 when Kelly was bowled by Ollie Stone. Kelly out for 0. Ben Cox caught Amir, bowled Ali for 5, 19 for 3, and then first ball Ashton Turner caught behind by Moores off Ali without scoring, 19 for 4. It's now 45 for 4. And Rian Ahmed and Joey Everson at the crease. Everson on strike. Next ball he works it square of the wicket on the leg side, past umpire Pollard. And a single is taken. In fact, they come back for 2, and as the throw comes in from deep, it struck Rian Ahmed maybe just on the inside of the knee. Jack Haynes firing it in from out deep, and I think Rian Ahmed was trying to hurdle it, but Sally Gunnelly isn't, and he's managed to throw himself almost in the line of the ball there as it came in from Jack Haynes, and has got one just on the inside of the knee, which will sting a bit. 47 for 4. Everson's off the mark. Target an imposing 210 as Ali bowls again to Joey Everson. Just drops it on the leg side. Everson with Kent now, but he's on loan here, and takes a single, and he'll keep strike, and that's the end of Muhammad Ali's second over. He's 2 for 15. And Leicestershire 48 for 4 here on BBC Radio Leicester, BBC Radio Nottingham. Myself, Dave Bracegirdle, and with Adam Whitty.
Live T20 blast action between these two East Midlands rivals, Leicestershire and Nottinghamshire at Grace Road. And if this was a medical drama, you'd have a patient in Leicestershire who has the faintest of heartbeats. At 48 for 4, needing 162 to win with 14 overs to go. So the required rate at 11.5. They're going at 8 and over, with Ahmed having hit 38 of 48 runs. It's Joey Everson to face, though, who's a right-hander with nearly chips that up first ball from Linda bowling left arm round the wicket, and he nearly drove that straight at cover. Who's that there, Dave? Forgive me, at cover there, who nearly took that catch.
Benny Howell.
Benny Howell just landed in front of him. But Everson 3 off 5. As Linda comes in, down the track comes Everson and just drives that down the ground. He'll pick up a single to long on, so 161 to win.
Just a reminder of a couple of bits of news today. Test match, it's all test match orientated. Free tickets tomorrow by Trent Bridge. If you want to go to the 5th day of the test, tickets are free. Trent Bridge, tickets.trentbridge.co.uk, and you can get all the details on there. Get yourself a test match ticket for free.
As Ahmed waits, Linda is there, cut into the floor by Ahmed, and there is no run. I've texted my mate, who hasn't replied.
And the other news brought exclusively to you by Adam Whitty, who's got a mole in the ECB, and that was concerning the captain.
Yeah, Ben Stokes is retiring from international cricket. This will be his last test match. As Linda is in, Ahmed drives straight back down to Linda, and he fields off his own bowling. There is no run, so 1 run off the first 4 deliveries of this, the 7th over. Linda, who's got 6 wickets, 9.25 and over so far in this competition. Big, tall South African, left arm round the wicket to the right-handed Rahan Ahmed, who waits, goes for the reverse shot, and he's got all of that, and that is going to be 1 bounce 4. And this is a superb knock from Ahmed. He moves into the 40s, 42 he's on, and he's scored 42 of 53 runs that Leicestershire have managed so far. They are 53 for 4 with 1 ball left in the over, and that was a great switch hit from the England international.
Yeah, it's keeping Leicestershire alive here. Rahan Ahmed went very nicely indeed. It'll all come out in the wash, I guess, with Ben Stokes, but quite a dramatic thing on the 4th day of a test match that's still got some time to run to announce your international retirement.
Ahmed waits as Linda is in, and he cuts at that forward of square, and there is it's going to split the 2 fielders, but it's going to give them enough time to run round and gather it at deep cover. So there is 2 added to the total. Ahmed is really struggling with that foot, you know. Yeah. He's just limped through, and that is the end of the over. So there's 7 off it in the end. The score is 55 for 4. Leicestershire need 155 to beat Notts and chase down a mammoth 210 total. Yeah, I suspect it's one of these things with timings. I suspect Stokes probably wanted to run off into the sunset, having retired at the end of the game, but I suspect he was probably told by the ECB that he couldn't do that, that they needed to say goodbye to. My guess is David just couldn't be bothered with it anymore. Couldn't be bothered with the drama, couldn't be bothered with the stress of it all, and the incident that happened that meant he missed the 2nd test was probably the moment where he thought, I'll have 1 more game, I don't want to go out like this.
There's Ben Howell into the attack to bowl to Joey Everson, and first ball's dropped on the leg side. Like I say, I think there's quite a lot to come out on this Stokes story. I don't know. Well, I don't know. Leave it at that. I don't know, but it does seem strange. I mean, there's the potential there for him to make a match-winning 150 not out tomorrow and be carted off as the hero as the next ball's pushed back to the bowler, and go away and come back in 4 weeks' time when England play Pakistan. The rest of the well, it's a little longer than that, isn't it? End of August, after the 100's finished, and into September they play 3 tests against Pakistan. Go away and have a breather and freshen up and get yourself ready, and we'll go again then, but we'll see. Here's Howell, 55 for 4. Bowls to Everson, turns this to mid-wicket. Foxes can't afford too many dot balls. They've got to keep that board moving.
Well, you've got one batsman at the other end who's smacking everything all over the place, and at the moment Joey Everson is just eating up balls and building pressure for his opposite number. That's the problem at the moment.
4 for 9. As Howell bowls, and this time he manages to get it wide of mid-wicket out into the deep where Ollie Stone will field, and there's a couple of runs. Don't think because I've stood up you've got to stand up. It's just that this chair has it's just about given up the ghost on me, and I don't think it's me. I think it's a faulty chair. I don't think it's me.
I see you as the sergeant major and me as the lieutenant. If you stand, I stand.
Is that the right way round?
I'm not sure. I have
57
no
for
idea.
4. Everson on the 6th, and this time he nudges it out onto the leg side, well fielded by Joe Clark, and there's no run.
Lieutenant's not particularly high up, is it?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it's an officer rank.
Oh, I've embarrassed myself. What should I have gone for? Corporal?
Well, yeah, a corporal would be below a lieutenant. I was a sergeant in the RAF. Well, I was a corporal before then, obviously. But this is it down the ground. But I'm the last person on God's earth that you need to be saluting or even standing up for. Single taken, 58 for 4. How did we get on that? I just thought I'd stand up because I really do think that the chair is literally on its last legs. End of the 8th over, 58 for 4 at the same stage. Notts had 88 on the board, so 30 run difference. They've got to go well to make that up.
Yeah, and I was just looking at that Duckworth-Lewis there, which is in the 80s, Dave, which shows you they are well behind the game, and they have one man who it seems capable of turning this around. If Rahan Ahmed gets out any time in the next 9 overs, then pack your bags, Leicestershire folks, I think. 58 for 4 is the score, and Linda's going to bowl his second over from the Bennett end, bowling left arm round the wicket, and Everson has smashed this, but it's gone high and it hasn't gone long, and it's going to be taken by long off comfortably, and long on it is in the end who grabs it, and Everson has to go for 7. Never looked comfortable out there, did the Kent man, and it's Freddie McCann who's taken it. 58 for 5 is the score, and it might not matter what Rahan Ahmed does. If he's got nobody else to bat with, then that will be the bigger issue. So 58 for 5 is the score. Leicestershire subsiding against Notts and are at risk of a real trouncing at the moment. And Liam Travaskis comes in at number 7.
It's the highest of the day, we'll say that for young Joey. He's called him Joe 90 at Notts. He's given the academy number 90, and he kept that into the first team and what have you. He's not wearing any number at all for Leicestershire, and he's whacked that one up to the moon. It's come down with snow on it, and really good effort by Freddie McCann on the long on fence, just in from that hospitality marquee at the far end of the ground. Well judged catch. New man Travaskis, Rahan Ahmed 44 out of a score which is now 58 for 5.
So Liam Travaskis, the new man, and it's a long tail for Leicestershire. Travaskis is a decent batting in the long ball, but there's a number 7. Highlights the fact that they're missing some big names. So there's a reverse sweep first up from Travaskis, and he doesn't connect. So Linda's back over the wicket now. The score is 58 for 5. Notts, I think we've reached the stage now where it's Notts need 5 wickets rather than Leicestershire need runs at the moment. 152 they need to win in 11.4 overs. Linda in. There's a conventional sweep by Travaskis, and the ball bounces twice before being fielded at mid-wicket. Just a single. So Ahmed has 3 balls now to try and put Notts on the back foot. He scored 44 of 59 runs.
He said a little earlier that Leicestershire's run rate was starting to get away from them as well before this game.
As Linda is in, back goes Ahmed and just takes the single, and 60 for 5. Yeah, well, the problem is they got absolutely walloped by both Durham and Derbyshire. So despite their 3 wicket wins, and some of them were pretty handy wins to be fair, as in by decent margins, they've just really struggled to catch up with everybody else. Their run rate -1 essentially, which essentially counts as -1 point. Down the pitch comes Travaskis, and he's found the gap in the outfield there. That might go for 4. No, it's going to be stopped in the end. 2 fielders converging on it. Not a bad shot from Travaskis. He dragged it slightly going against the line, but he's got 2 runs for it. That's the other game going at Derbyshire. Yorkshire 69 for 3, so they need 147 to chase down 216 with 11 overs to go. That looks like an entertaining game. Far less one-sided than this. Linda coming over the wicket to the left-handed Travaskis, who goes back and drives down the ground for a single. This isn't enough for Leicestershire. The run rate is at 13 and over already, and they have just got the 5 off that over. Yeah. So the score is 63 for 5, and Travaskis will keep the strike at the end of the over as well. You listen to live T20 Blast Cricket. Leicestershire against Nottinghamshire for the East Midlands pride. Will they be dancing on the...
This is just a Leicester thing, isn't it? Well, it's just another game to Notts. Just another game.
Say that.
It is.
You know it's not true.
It is.
This is the game, isn't it? It's because Notts used to steal all of Leicestershire's players, and by steal I mean offer them better contracts. And
here he goes. I don't think there was one of them that was dragged there screaming against their will. There's Benny Howell round the wicket to the left-hander Travaskis, just slightly short of a length, and pummeled down the ground for a single. Ollie Stone doing the fielding.
You know what it's like if you've got a smaller team against a bigger team. It's like when Forest play Leicester City.
I forget which respective divisions they're in. 63 for 5. Travaskis has 4. He's on strike. Benny Howell into his Second over, bowls now and it out into the offside, and there's no run. It's crisply to Joe Clark, and there's no run. Of course, after 3 games, I don't think there'd have been a single Notts Outlaws supporter, if you'd said after 8 games they're going to be top of the table, it would have believed you. This one's hit nicely down the ground, catching chance for Linda, and that's a very good catch, beautifully caught. And Travaskis is the next to go, and that's or is it Rian Ahmed? Just check on. No, it is Travaskis. Yeah, the board have got Travaskis on.
It's Ahmed. It's Ahmed, but the scoreboard did say Travaskis.
It did indeed. So Rian Ahmed out, 64 for 6. And he's drilled it to wide-ish mid-off, long-off position, and just distracted by the spectators away to our right, just heading off.
Yeah.
They've seen enough. 6 down. George Linder moving nicely to the ball, and a well-judged catch low to his left. A wicket for Benny Howell. Good applause there for Rian Ahmed. Did his bit for his side, but with him gone, I just wonder if this might be a defeat of, well, running into 3 figures now.
I think that's the likelihood, Dave. I think that is 99% chance probably of that being the game. Ahmed, without him, they would be 19 for 6.
There's Howell, new man then. Ben Green gets away first ball, using it square of the wicket on the offside. He'll come back for a couple. Takes the score to 66 for 6. Yes, made the fatal mistake there looking at the scoreboard, and it did have Travaskis as being on the strike rather than having a little look and seeing for myself. Here's Howell. Ball's now, and this one's helped out into the offside. That might go for 4, it will. Through extra cover, so good start for Benny Green. 2 from the first ball, 4 from his second. You look at this scorecard: Patel 1, Kelly 0, Cox 5, Turner 0, Everson 7, and then Rian Ahmed out for 45.
This is interesting. Biggest Nottinghamshire victories in the T20 against Leicestershire.
There's Howell to bowl to Green, and he's got that one away for 4 more. Back-to-back 4s through the offside. This is a good start for Benny Green. 10 from 3, end of the over. Howell won't mind too much because he got a wicket in that over, and it's 74 for 6, and we're at the halfway stage. Yeah,
I mean, Ben Green can hit a long ball. He's capable of some very, very good innings. He's got quite a few. He's got a List A century as Ben Green. He's capable of real magic, but you just haven't really seen it in a Leicestershire shirt so far. So the biggest win for Nottinghamshire against Leicestershire, 69 runs. That was in 2012. The second biggest though was 31, which tells you that these two have often played out close encounters. It's always been a bit nip and tuck. I think this is going to be a record win for Nottinghamshire as it stands. 74 for 6, so Notts need 4 wickets, Leicestershire need 136 from 10 overs, and it's going to be Liam Patterson-White to bowl, left arm round the wicket to the left-handed Travaskis, so bowling with that angle across him.
Big win for the Blaze down in Essex, one of those crossover games in the women's competition. They've gone to Chelmsford, restricted Essex to 136 for 9, and the Blaze have knocked them off for just 1 down.
Patterson is in, Travaskis goes down the ground, he's going to hold out here to long off. It's taken down there, and that is the 7th wicket that falls. Travaskis has gone for 5, and Leicestershire are on course for a humiliating defeat. It's McCann again with a second catch under the high ball on the far side of the ground, and this is grim from a Fox's perspective. Start the car. I think Leicestershire are going to be going home pretty soon. 74 for 7.
Yeah, it didn't take Liam Patterson-White long to make his mark. Having a really good season, Patterson-White, and he's had to wait before getting a bowl here, but in his first over, induces a false shot from Travaskis, went very, very high, and a nicely judged catch by Freddie McCann, who didn't even get to the crease today, did he?
No, he didn't. No, they sent in Linda, who did exactly what the Notts coaching staff and captain would have wanted him to do, which was whack a 50. It was absolutely the right choice. 32 wickets in the county championship, isn't it? Got 9 wickets against Essex last time, so he's playing incredibly well as Patterson White. I think the problem is twofold here for Leicestershire. One is the fact that they are going to lose a 5th game, and that means they're going to have to win all of the remaining games. The bigger problem here, Dave, is that this is going to be such a large, unless something dramatic happens here, this is going to be such a large margin of error as Patterson White comes in, bowls, and Ben Mike is the new man, and he drives it out, and he's possibly going to be run out here. No, he's back in time, but he played it out into the offside, wanted a run, he got sent back by Ben Green. The margin of error is potentially going to be so large that their net run rate will be fatally damaged by it, and that will mean that they basically... that they need to win all of their games, sort of hope everybody beats everybody else, that they're not going to get there on their net run rate. They've basically got 1 point less than everybody else as Mike drives down the ground too long off. He'll get a single, so 75 for 5.
A number of people who, for my mind, spend far too long looking at numbers and working out permutations have told me that it's looking very likely that the 2 third place teams will come from the other groups, the Central and West group and the South group, rather than this one.
Patterson in, flashed by Green. It's a cut off his stumps really to deep cover. That's interesting.
It might work out differently because there's still 4 games for everybody to play after this one, but at the moment it looks very much like there's 3 or 4 strong teams in the other groups, whereas in this one,
to prove
everybody's
that
lost
point,
at least 3, haven't they?
As Patterson White comes in, bowls, and it's the leading edge that nearly comes straight back to him. 76 for 7, no run. To prove that point, that's the end of the over. Wicket has come from it, and not many runs, Dave.
Just 2.
Just 2.
Two and a
there
wicket,
you go.
yeah.
And the run rate is at 15 already, but really we're talking about wickets for Notts. They need 3 wickets to win this game. Glamorgan are third in the Central and West group. They're on 16 points already, which is level with the top team in the North group, and so have Essex. Essex have got 16 too, so those 2 teams are well ahead of those. Leicestershire need to come in the top 2, and if you've got not only a lower, you've lost your 5 games, but with a horrible net run rate. I mean, this will, for Notts, the other side of that is, this will be a huge boost for Notts' net run rate in catching Yorkshire.
Here's Linda to start the 12th over, 76 for 7. Bowls now and hit away onto the leg side. The leg field is deep. Jack Haynes comes in from the fence in front of the meet. Is that the first mention of the day of the meet?
I think it is, yeah.
Single taken, 77 for 7.
8 mentions of an anchor, 1 mention for the meet.
George Linda, who has had a very good day indeed. Used to like it back in the day, the old Benson Hedges Cup, the NatWest Cup, where they would give a proper man of the match and an award and a medal. You'd always debate who it might be that would be the man of the match, the player of the match. Next ball is hit into the offside, over the offside in fact, and it's going to take a really good sliding stop on the boundary from Howell, and he's done well there. Needed a couple of attempts to stop it from touching the rope, and I think he did that cleanly. Good work from him. And I think they only took 2. 79 for 7, but I think at the moment it would be a toss-up between Munsey 75 from 52 and Linda 55 from 22, but George Linda weighing in at the moment with a catch and a wicket. Round the wicket he comes now, turned down the ground by Mike for a single.
I think Linda's innings changed the complexion of this game. Munsey's was a very good knock, and I shouldn't take away from it because it set the platform for Linda to be able to go and smack it around, but he took it from 144 to 210 in the blink of an eye, and that is what put pressure on Leicestershire to the point where they had to hit out from the moment go, and why they've lost so many early wickets.
Linda in again, bowls, again driven into the offside by Ben Green. Second top scorer in the innings, moves to 13. If you weren't with us then, just to emphasise how Linda changed the complexion of the Notts innings, he scored 45 out of when the 50 partnership came up with Muncie, and then Muncie got going again a little bit after then, but he just came in and sort of said, leave it to me for 2 or 3 overs, didn't he? And played some big shots. 81 for 7. Mike on strike on 4. Over the wicket. Balls now, and this is hit back to the bowler. T20 blast cricket from Leicester. Umpire Russell Warren just spotted that the Notts wicket keeper Tom Moores has, I presume it's come from Tom Moores, lost a towel and just dropped on the outfield behind him.
Would that have been 5 penalty runs if it had hit that?
No, that's a good question. 81 for 7, and this one's leave it away onto the leg side. There'll be a single. End of the over, 82 for 7. I'm not sure it was Tom Moores to begin with. I know I saw Benny Howell when he was bowling. He had one sort of flapping out of the back of his trousers, out of his waistband. Tom Moores just chatting to the umpire at this end actually about it. 82 for 7.
5 penalty runs. The ball becomes instantly dead. 5 penalty runs if it had hit the towel.
Even though it's not in contact with a player or anything, just somebody has dropped a towel or a handkerchief or something on the outfield. That's a good look up, that. 82 for 7 after 12. Same stage, Notts had 124 runs.
It's going to be Patterson White to continue from the Bennett end. It's dropped. Caught and bowled chance. It was hit back at him like a shot out of a cannon. So it would have been an incredible take. But he did get his hands to it, did Patterson White. And it fell to the floor.
Save 4, isn't he? One way or another.
As Patterson White's in, bowls, and Mike thrashes at this and gets it away behind square on the offside. It beats backward point, and they will get 2 for their trouble. Mike is on to 7.
Get the announcement halfway through the over.
84 for 7, 3 wickets for Notts to win this game. Patterson White is in, and Mike drives him down the ground, and he's going to get 4 for that. That's a really pleasant shot in the end. Straight as a die, right down the ground. So 88 for 7 is now the score. These two have put on a handy little partnership together now. How many would that be? That would be...
Well, last week it went at 74 for 7,
okay.
And it's now 88 for
Just
7.
feels like
14 seems a lot.
Yeah, well, it is. The first target for Leicestershire will be, I think, to get the deficit under 100.
Yeah. Agree with you there.
12.3 overs, 88 for 7. In comes Patterson White. There's a slog sweep from Mike. There's a fielder out there, but it lands just in front of him, and he completely loses it. It goes forward in front of him, and they come through for 2. It hit his legs and thighs and everything. It's Benny Howell who's out there, isn't it? And then he didn't know where he'd got it. He was worried it had gone behind him and deflected off him, but he had saved the boundary. 94-7 the score. Here comes Patterson White in. Slog sweep high up in the air by Mike. You heard the groan, but he's got it all the way, Mike. 4-6 into the benches where the 2 sets of players are sat, and he got all of that. Now, I don't know, it might not have been the groan from Mike. It was a groan from someone that you picked up from that shot, because it looked like it had gone high and not long, but it did go high and long for 6.
Might have been the bowler or somebody trying to say catch and then realising that it wasn't going to be a catch. Notts are playing this like they would and they should play it, but I just wonder if there's perhaps a case for bringing back the two Mo's.
Yeah. 14 off the over already, and Mike goes back and drives this. He's on 19 not out, and he'll be on 20 not out at the end of the over. 15 off it. Comebacks on, Dave. 97 for 7 is the score. Leicestershire in pursuit of 100 out of 210 to win this game. At the moment, their T20 blast chance is hanging by a thread with just 3 games to go, but Notts will feel like they've got a great opportunity here, because Yorkshire 98 for 5. They will probably be top of the North Group by the end of the day.
New Zealand have lost a 9th wicket. They're 281 for 9. Lead England by 365 at Trent Bridge. Daryl Mitchell still there, 94 not out. Last man, Sears, is with him. Here's Ollie Stone. Got a wicket of Nick Kelly early on without scoring. His first ball of his comeback over. Just played behind square on the leg side, fielded by Mo Ali, who doesn't tend to like wearing any sort of headwear. We've seen him now in every Blast game, and the one county championship game he played, even though he was presented with a nice new Nottinghamshire county cap, and likes to go bareheaded. There's Stone in once more, bowled him. A little bit of a turn towards Ben Mike, I think, there, rather than towards Benny Green, who he's actually bowled. He just seemed to turn round, didn't he, once he'd seen the bails flying and the stumps disturbed. Whether there was just a little side comment or something. Yeah, and here he comes. He'll serve you one up, mate, or something, and then perhaps, let's see. 98 for 8. Ben Green is bowled by Ollie Stone for 13.
Yeah, are you right? There must have been something said or a bit of chat there. So give a send-off to the non-striker is unusual. Sam Wood is the new batter. I don't actually know too much about Sam Wood's batting credentials, to be blunt with you.
Well, he's batting at 10. That's generally sort of the reference point I have to begin with.
Alex Green is a bit of a number 11 at the moment, so yeah. He's got 57 in it. He's got a first-class half-century. Best of 22 in List A cricket, but best of 4 in T20 cricket, having only played one innings, to be fair. This only his second T20 innings.
Left-hander. Chance to make yourself a hero.
Big, tall chap, wide open stance, Sam Wood.
So Ollie Stone with his second wicket, 2 for 21 his figures, comes in now and bowls, and this is pushed behind square, and there's no run, and Stone himself sprinted to be in a position to back up. Bowled a nice economical first over, didn't he, Ollie Stone, and got a wicket, and then Rian Ahmed got hold of him, gave him a bit of tap. That's when I mentioned Aaron Donald, and now he's come back and picked up his second wicket, and another tidy over here from Ollie Stone. 98 for 8. Just Alex Green to come for the Foxes. Wood will get off the mark here, pushing it out as far as Jack Haynes. Runs in towards the edge of the square. Fires it in on the bounce to Tom Moores. 99 for 8. If you weren't with us earlier, Leicestershire won the toss, put Knotts in. Joe Clark quickly out of the traps. He fell in the 6th over for 42. That was 60 for 1. 86 for 2. Jack Haynes went cheaply, but then Knotts began to pile on the runs. Some damaging partnerships. Here's Stone in once more, and Ben Mike will bunt it down the ground for a single. Tom Moores made quick fire 21. And then George Linder, who was run out by Ben Mike, made 55 from 22. Terrific innings from him, leaving George Munsey 75 not out from 52, 6 fours and 3 sixes to the Scottish international. 209 for 4. As the 100 comes up here to almost complete indifference. Stone to Wood. Bouncer pulled in the air, out to deep mid-wicket. Catching chance. No, it's not. It's too high for Liam Patterson-White. Leaps as high as he possibly could, but it just cleared him at deep mid-wicket and goes for 6. So, you know a little bit more now about the batting prowess of Sam Wood. He's got that one in his locker. 106 for 8 now, and we've had 14 overs.
It's a stand and deliver shot, very impressive. And it's a big boundary down there. A lot of yards to get the distance on that one, and he cleared the rope just about. 106 for 8. So they are close to getting the deficit underneath 100, but make no mistake, this is going to be a walloping for Leicestershire. The run rate at 17.3 at the moment, just 2 wickets for Knotts to win this game, a 5th in a row in the T20. And I mean, Leicestershire have back-to-back defeats.
Muhammad Ali coming back into the attack. He was on a hat-trick at one stage earlier. Got rid of Cox and Turner with consecutive deliveries.
It's going to bowl down the hill from the Bennett end. 106 for 8 is the score. So Just 104 to win for Leicestershire to get the 210. Here is Ali. Right arm over the wicket. Slows up and it's driven by Mike, who's 23 not out. Second highest score of the innings now.
Interesting, because I don't really envisage Mohamed Amir being too fussed at bowling uphill. Doesn't seem like he's an uphill sort of bowler, the brief interactions I've had with him so far and what I know about him. He went pretty well from the far end, didn't he? Got rid of Rishi Patel in the first over.
I think it's interesting actually looking at this. I think Leicestershire have just sort of come up against better teams this weekend. They've come up against better players, international standard players who have the ability to turn games on their head. Leicestershire, bar Turner and Ahmed, I think you'd probably say, don't have the ability to go and hit 50 off 20 balls at the moment. You've got Budinger, people like Holland who are very good players, Eskenazi, but they're not available. Here comes Ali, and that's turned round the corner from Wood, and he'll pick up a single. He moves on to 8, and you saw that with Butler and Salt and Livingston Friday night.
Got quite a nasty injury in this old Budinger.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he was at Old Trafford. Basically, his legs got tangled with Liam Travaskis on the boundary rope. He's got a knee ligament tear, so he's going to be out for most of the season. I think he might come back. I think they're hopeful that he might be back for the return of the county championship in September, maybe. But that might be a push. Ali running in towards us from the Bennett end. He's up to the wicket. He bowls a slower delivery, which is whacked down the ground on the leg side. They look for 2. They don't get it, and so 101 to win. 2 wickets for Notts.
Is there a sense that people here are in favour of the slightly rejigged Blast and the groups this year? I don't know who your 2 other games were, your crossover games.
Sussex away, Worcestershire at home. It's the first meeting against Sussex.
Yeah.
I don't know what you think. I'm overall positive, I think, for a couple of reasons. I'll come to that in a second as Ali runs in towards us now. He bowls, and that's driven to cover, no run. I think I was pretty bored, I'm sure Leicestershire fans, where it felt really stale playing the same old teams. And if you're going to shorten the groups, then you are really just playing against the same teams all the time. And of course, it's going to be Notts is great. Notts is always great, but Yorkshire, Derby, Durham. I think people were just like a bit of variety. So having those 2 games in there, I think, has been really good. And Leicestershire had never played Sussex before. I think that's been really positive. And I also think having a reduced amount of games, putting them on Friday, Sunday is a much better way to do it. You needed fewer, better quality games as Ali is in bowls, and that hits Wood, and they get no run. Because I think basically you get the probably Trent Bridge, a prime example of this. Your Friday nights, your professionals who go and have a few beers with the game, and then Sundays for families. And you've seen that bit, totally different market, but you offer that out to people, and it's Friday, Sunday, maybe 1 or 2 TV games. I'm overall in favour of it.
Yeah,
you?
That's a very good assessment. Yeah, absolutely spot on. Yeah, Notts. It's a long trip to Kent. Let's make no bones about that. But yeah, it's the first time Notts have played Kent since 2007 when they met at Trent Bridge in a knockout game, so there was a little bit of variety. The other one, the home game, was against Warwickshire. Of course, they have played every year. Ali in bowls, and that's a great Yorker. That's that Yorker that you were talking about, Dave, and that's dug out by Wood, and he gets a single for it. So that's the end of the 15th over. We are sort of as the required run rate ticks over to 20 and over, we are somewhat staggering our way towards a conclusion here on BBC Radio Leicester and BBC Radio Nottingham. I think we all know what's going to happen. 110 for 8. But I think I get why they have to do it, and because you're packing in so many games in quite a short period of time, I get why you can't have, Sussex on the Friday if you're Leicestershire and Somerset on the Sunday or something. So you do have to have geographically based regions, and you want the local derbies too. But I think this is probably as good a way as they could probably make it. Agree with you, like it. Here's Benny Howell back into the attack, going to bowl to Wood. Big heave there, so the kitchen sink at that one, but only get a single away on the leg side. I think everybody in the North group is pleased that they've avoided Northants this year, because they're going along really well. 7 wins out of 7. Some phenomenal ball striking from some of their players. The other night, Chris Lynn and David Willey with an astonishing partnership. You get players who can hit 75 off 20 odd balls. It's they're spoiling a good game, aren't they? Here's Howell in once more. This one's hit very high by Mike. Ollie Stone looking where the rope is, and it's cleared him. It's gone for 6. It was Ollie Stone who was the man underneath that skyer from Sam Billings right on the rope at Canterbury, and he caught it, flicked it back in, and they had many looks before they decided Stone had touched the boundary sponge. It's a rope down there, and it just cleared the leaping Stone and went for 6. Big blow from Ben Mike. Moves on to 30 from 18. Howell in again. This one is down the leg side. Combination of, well, in fact, it's not going to be a combination because the umpire, Russell Warren, at this end already tapping his knee to indicate a leg by. 117 for 8.
I'm slightly surprised that Ben Mike has come in at was it number 9? He's a good bat. I mean, he was opening for Leicestershire in a couple of games in the Blast. He came in as sort of pinch hitter, smashing 20.
Howell. The ball to Wood. He's slammed this down the ground. No cutting that off. That's gone for 4. Didn't quite work for Ben Mike at Yorkshire. Did a couple of injury hit seasons, but back on familiar territory. He is a very, very good player, Ben Mike. A lot of time for him.
Yeah, really nice lad. It just didn't work out for him. He just didn't really play that much cricket, and I think he thought, it was worth a go, but didn't quite work out.
122 for 8. Howell for a few in this over, and a slower ball. He's just about dug out by Wood for a single on the offside. 123 for 8. We're into the 16th over now. 1 ball left in the 16th over. Pretty clear what the outcome is going to be. It's just whether Notts can have the satisfaction of knocking over these last 2 wickets or not. Howell to Mike. Can he get a 50? He's going to keep strike, I think, because he's dragged this on the leg side. Out to Freddie McCann for a single. McCann's already taken a couple of catches. 124 for 8 then after 16 overs. 4 to go. Will it be Mohammed Ali to bowl? No, it won't. Mohammed Ali ran in, jogged in towards the stumps at the far end, and then ran past. As I mentioned a little while ago, he doesn't wear a cap, so you don't get the telltale signs, but he's going to be replaced by fellow 33-year-old Mohammed Amir.
26 this partnership off 16 balls. It has prolonged the Notts victory party.
New Zealand have declared as soon as Daryl Mitchell got his 100. 288 for 9. England need 373.
Gives them out, 45 minutes or so at them, doesn't it? BBC Radio Leicester, BBC Radio Nottingham, live T20 Blast action as Mohammed Amir is going to bowl his 3rd over. 1 for 12 his figures, and comes in, bowls a slower ball that's played down the ground with a big sort of baseball style shot from Ben Mike. He moves on to 32. 125 for 8. Still 2 wickets needed to win for Notts. 85 the margin of error. At least Leicestershire have got the deficit under 100, but this is still probably next target. Leicestershire won't thinking about this, but if they can avoid it being the biggest margin of error runs wise in a defeat to Notts, that would be nice. That's 69, and Wood drives at that. He gets a single.
Yeah, you don't want to carry too many scars into the meeting at Trent Bridge a week on Friday.
Yeah, this will hurt the pride of Leicestershire, this will.
Each side will have 2, well, not certainly have 2 matches before. Yeah, each side will have 2 more matches before then, so the group will be a long way towards being finally defined.
Big hit by Mike to a full ball. There's a fielder out there. He wants to catch it, but he's not going to get it. 6 to Ben Mike. So he's on to 38. 132 for 8. That is his 3rd 6. I think this is a bit of a...
McCann again on the fence.
It's a really good effort. It's a bit of a. I think he's sort of putting a couple of fingers up to the Leicestershire coaching staff here for putting him down at number 9. He said he's much more worthy of that as he drives this one. A Yorker outside off stump and just gets a single. It's one of those very difficult to hit full Yorkers outside off stump. So 2 balls left in the 17th over. 1-3-3 for 8.
Crowd have been entertained. There were 9 sixes in the Outlaws innings, already 6 in this one.
Yeah, we've seen some big hitting today, which is what the crowd will want to see at the very least. Mohammed Amir comes in, he bowls, and that is whacked down the ground by Wood. He'll move on to 17 and just get a single.
This is one of the biggest playing areas, if not the biggest in the country, isn't it? The ropes not quite all the way out to the advertising hoardings on each side, but certainly most of the way at either end. Just brought in a little bit on the meat side of the ground.
Well, they have avoided their biggest ever defeat, Leicestershire, in the T20, which was 106 runs against Yorkshire last year. And they're at the...
His bat's broke, I think, Ben Mike.
Oh, has it? This would be their 4th biggest loss if they were to lose without any runs being scored. 106 against Yorkshire, Northamptonshire 92 in a long way away. Derbyshire early on in the season, 85 runs was their 3rd biggest loss, and then Durham in 2010, 71 runs. Ben Mike's got a new bat. Sheridan Gums has run out a couple of bats to him. It always amazes me how many bats they've got, Dave. They've got about 30 bats. Amir bowling left arm over the wicket to the right-handed Mike, who waits 39 not out, and he's bowled him, Amir, and he stretches his arms out. Big celebration from Amir. The 9th wicket falls. Ben Mike goes for a very creditable 39 off 23 deliveries. He has avoided a complete humiliation. And 1-3-4 for 9 is the score now, and Notts can sniff the victory now. They are 1 wicket away.
I'm slightly distracted. I saw the wicket, but I was trying to absorb the information I've just been fed. Ben Stokes will open the batting for England in the second innings. There's the hot news from
which is
from Trent Bridge.
Given the conditions of the game, I would be wanting to come in at number 4 maybe, but he's making life hard for himself there, coming in with a 45-minute difficult period, sun setting. 350 the deficit, isn't it? What's the title they've got to chase there, England? 373.
He's perhaps made the announcement today because he's off on holiday tomorrow or whatever.
Maybe.
It's going to be Muhammad Ali. 134 for 9. Last man is Alex Green, AM Green on the score board. Wood on strike there, 117. There's Ali, bowls now, and a swish and a miss goes through to the keeper. Now, all best laid plans and everything. You were going to nip down on the boundary edge, weren't you, for the final knockings of this game? But this game could be finished any time in the next 20 minutes. Of course, when it does, we'll have a bit of a wrap-up. BBC Radio Nottingham, after Adam Hassel has gone through all the scores, will hand back to normal programming. 134 for 9. As Ali, past umpire Warren, bowls now, hit back to him, and it's just instinctively thrust down his right hand to grab the ball. From here it looked as if it went to him on the full, but he couldn't hang on to it. It may have been one of those that the uncharitable would say that's a drop. Yeah, on a Saturday afternoon I'm going to have to chuck a couple of quid in the old fines pot at the end of the day. Ben Duckett and Ben Stokes opening the batting for England, who need 373 at Trent Bridge to beat New Zealand. Wow. 134 for 9. As Ali bowls right up in the block hole. I could see, because we're right behind the line, aren't we? I could see that Wood wasn't going to get bat on ball there, and I just can't believe it didn't york him. Somehow narrowly missed the stumps. Goes through to Tom Moores, who is a very respectful distance away, but back behind the stumps at the far end.
The required run rate is over 30.
You'd say Tom Moores is actually closer to the boundary boards at the Bennett end than he is to the stumps. Appears to be. That was a quick ball. And Ali sets off this side of the 30-metre disc. It's a long old run that he has. Comes in now and bowls, and a bit of bat on it. Out onto the offside to Jack Haynes, who's hardly moved in the field. He's been put out there since the start of this innings. So for an hour and a quarter or so, Jack Haynes has been very much within chatting distance of the boundary rope on the meat side. Square of the wicket. 135 for 9. Muhammad Ali already with 16 wickets in the season's competition. James Sales of Northants with 17, the leading wicket taker, so he'd put himself up there if he can get this last one. Muhammad Ali, this is his final over. He's bowling now to Alex Green, and he's bowled him, and that is that. And Notts Outlaws have won with a very convincing performance, in the end with bat and ball, because Leicestershire have been bowled out for 135, and Muhammad Ali gets the final wicket, and that's put the seal on a very, very impressive performance by Notts. Ali finishing with 3 for 20, that's new best figures for him in Notts Outlaws colours. Notts winning, says he, just doing the sums quickly. Notts have won by 74 runs, so that's got to go down as a little bit of a walloping. Leicestershire have been bowled out with 13 balls to spare. Leicestershire, remember, winning the toss. They had the choice of what they wanted to do, and what they wanted to do was bowl first and chase later on. They ended up chasing a score of 209 for 4. Joe Clark, who's had a pretty lean time of it with the bat, making 42, quickly out of the traps for Notts. In a first wicket partnership of 60 with George Munsey. Jack Haynes made 5. When he went, it was 86 for 2. Tom Moores made 21 for Notts, 137 for 3 when he fell, and then a really, really damaging stand as George Linder came in, made 55 from 22 balls before being run out. A good bit of work off his own bowling from Ben Mike, leaving Munsey 75 not out from 52 balls, 6 fours and 3 sixes. That after finishing 82 not out at Canterbury in the win on Friday night. So Munsey's had a terrific weekend. 209 for 4 was the score at the interval, and Leicestershire in trouble pretty much from the off. In the first over, Rishi Patel was bowled by Mohammad Amir for 1. Second over, Nick Kelly played on to Ollie Stone without scoring, so from 2 for 1, 3 for 2. And they lost a couple more wickets in the power play as Muhammad Ali removed Ben Cox and Ashton Turner. 19 for 4. You'd say the game was just about done from that stage. Joey Everson was next to go for 7. Meanwhile, Rian Ahmed was doing his bit. He made 45 from 23 before being caught well on the boundary by George Linder from the bowling of Benny Howell. He hit 6 fours and 2 sixes. Liam Travaskis out for 5. Ben Green for 13. Ben Mike with a show of defiance. He made 39 from 24. And Sam Wood 18 not out when the last man Green was bowled by Ali. Ali 3 for 20 for Notts. Ollie Stone 2 for 29. Mohammad Amir 2 for 22. There are also wickets for George Linder, Benny Howell and Liam Patterson-White. All 6 bowlers with wickets for Notts. It's been quite a comprehensive victory. 74 runs Notts have won, and they're still waiting on the outcome of the Yorkshire game. They'll either be joint top on points or they will go top if Yorkshire don't win. Thanks for your coverage, for your company this afternoon. I hope you've enjoyed the coverage. Thanks to the live stream. For those of you listening to BBC Radio Nottingham, we'll now hand you back to Adam Hassel. And for those of you on BBC Radio Nottingham, Owen will pick up, and I think down on the field is Adam Whitty.